So good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at the Centennial Pavilion where the casket bearing the symbolic reburial of the slain fallen president of the Republic of Liberia, Samuel Kanyundo, is arriving here to be laid in state. And we have family members of the late former president are also arriving. This is the build-up to the arrival of His Excellency Joseph Boakai here at the Centennial Pavilion here on Ashmore Street. And in the glass-like vehicle that is carrying the casket that is symbolically the casket of the late slain president Samuel Kanyundo. We also have here the AFL band, marching band, and a contingent of the police. Here also the Liberia National Police, our family members of the Pewee family. We have Honorable Nyenwolo, our former cultural ambassador, is also present here with the women. And this is a process as part of activities leading to the reburial of the fallen Liberian, the fallen 21st Liberian president. In a moment from now, His Excellency Joseph Boakai will arrive here, and the casket will be laid in the Centennial Pavilion, where family members, Liberians, senior government officials will arrive to view as a way of giving an honorable burial to the slain president, as was suggested by His Excellency Joseph Boakai. We also have here the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia, the Minister of Education, and government officials here are already present. So however you're following us, we are here at the Centennial Pavilion on Ashmore Street in Monrovia. This is the build-up to the arrival of His Excellency Joseph Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. And we can also see on the vehicle a photo of the late First Lady and our slain 21st President of the Republic of Liberia, well designed in the national colors, red, white, and blue, flags all around. And the two caskets, this is historic, sad but historic. The two caskets are here. And this, as usual, was the work of the Liberian government. We have family members here, tears, as they recount these last moments of their mother and their father, a kingsman. And so wherever you're following us from, if you are in Grand Jide, on a sad note, we are bringing you this live coverage. Wish it could have been better than this, but this is where we are. And preparation. The AFL, as customary as it is, or as protocol demands, they will be given the maximum respect, as he was also a major in the army for his death. The late slain President Samuel Kanyundo and his wife will be laid to rest today on Friday, actually, in Grand Jide County. And His Excellency is going to be gracing that occasion. big town social club here, rendering some traditional Liberian songs as the process of removing the casket from the vehicle continues. They're giving him maximum salute. The casket is placed on the wheel that will convey it to the podium or to the stage where the symbolic corpse of His Excellency, the late President, will be laid. So this? So the hall is gradually being filled. We have government officials fast arriving.
As an influential authority, oversight authority for SOEs, thus leading to the weak oversight of SOEs for years. Consequently, non-compliance, lack of accountability, and waste and abuse of resources across state-owned enterprises are prevalent, thereby affecting the effective delivery of core public services and hence undermine national growth and development. Let me say without mincing words that many of our SOEs are marred with mismanagement and abuse of resources they control to provide services to Liberians. The heads of many SOEs feel that they do not owe accountability to the Liberian people, who are the owners of the enterprises they head. Deliberately fail to submit their operational reports to the BSE for consolidation and publication to the public in flagrant violation of the PFM laws. This is because the existing laws do not specifically provide sanctions for heads of SOEs when they violate the laws.
So good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at the Centennial Pavilion where the casket bearing the symbolic reburial of the slain fallen president of the Republic of Liberia, Samuel Kanyundo, is arriving here to be laid in state And we have family members of the late former president are also arriving. This is a build-up to the arrival of His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai here at the Centennial Pavilion here on Ashmore Street. And in the glass-like vehicle that is carrying the casket that is symbolically the casket of the late slain president Samuel Kayondo. We also have here the AFL band, marching band, and a contingent of the police. Here also the Liberia National Police, our family members of the Pewee family. We have Honorable Nyenwolo, our former cultural ambassador, is also present here with our women. And this is a process as part of activities leading to the reburial of the fallen Liberian, the fallen 21st Liberian president. In a moment from now, His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai will arrive here, and the casket will be laid in the Centennial Pavilion, where family members, Liberians, senior government officials will arrive to view as a way of giving an honorable burial to the slain president, as was suggested by His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai. We also have here the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Liberia, the Minister.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's good to be on this special, late night special of the closing argument. Just to, the weather is so hot now. The weather changing on our end. Today we received some showers of blessings, though. There was showers of blessing that was pouring from the skies, from the heavens. But when you indoors and you just want to when you have the time at least to come and just keep the company going. But a lot of interesting things happening in our country. Late this evening, the President Boakai suspended one of his close. This guy who he suspended, this guy is close to him. In fact, this guy is close to the president's legal advisor too. Arthur Masakwe. He suspended him this evening, according to the executive mansion release. The letter that was written suspending Mr. Masakwe. The letter says that as President Joseph Numa Boakai Sr. has with immediate effect suspended Mr. Arthur S. Masakwe from his duty as Director General of the Bureau of State Enterprises. The decision follows credible reports of financial and administrative malpractices allegedly committed under Mr. Masakwe's leadership. President Boakai says his action is intended to safeguard the integrity of an ongoing investigation being undertaken by the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, into the reported irregularities. The suspension also aims to ensure the uninterrupted and smooth functioning of the Bureau during this critical period. In the interim, Mr. Masakwe is directed to turn over all government properties and responsibilities to the Deputy Director for Administration, Honorable Valley F. Sanor, who will serve as acting Director General pending the outcome of the investigation. The President has urged Mr. Massacre to fully cooperate with the relevant authorities and refrain from any form of interference in the operations of the Bureau. The decisive step, the Liberian leader said, underscores his administration's commitment to transparency, accountability, and the rule of law in public service. Well, the president is receiving a lot of props for this action. Receiving a lot of props for this action. People are praising him for taking this action, for the fact that the person in question is somebody who is his closest, one of the closest ally, very close to him too. He suspended him. It come to the point where now we have the president, the local boss, former local boss is suspended, Rostalin Dennis. The NAFA boss, Emma Glasgow, is suspended. The LTA boss, Abdullah Kamara, is suspended. And I think the MCSS head is also suspended. And now the Bureau of State Enterprises boss, Mr. Massacre, have been suspended. Well, all we can look forward to is that these folks should be given a fair and speedy the opportunity to exonerate themselves, also to prove that the action against them was inappropriate, whatever the case. But we pray that this investigation will speed up. It won't take up the time, take out the whole year. While talking about the investigation and so forth, I just got information that the Garguah administration is about to indict several top former officials of the CDC government, including the former foreign minister and the dean of the President cabinet, His Excellency Ambassador D. Maxwell, and others. And so I don't know what's going on, but I see the UP man is here, Abu S. Kamara. Abu, what's up? Yeah, Abu, let him over there. You not in time.
I say Sunny Low.
Asani Low?
Yeah.
You hear me now? You hear me now?
Go up and come out.
Yeah, go and come back. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening, but people are praising the president for his action to suspend Mr. Massacre and others. Like we said, all we pray and hope for that they should be given us fair and speedy trial. They should be given the opportunity to in the court of law to defend themselves, to exonerate themselves from these charges. These are serious charges because this can ruin your whole career. Once you guys you're accused of financial malpractices and then you go to court, and if you are found guilty, you know your whole career is done because to give you a job or future, even international jobs or so forth, it always reflect on you. So while we commend the president for exercising the political will to act decisively on, especially involving people that are close to him too, we also call for the justice system to be fair. And LCC should speed up with these cases. I mean, you can't have, the Noka case been there for a rack of ages, man. The case involving, and then what we found out later on that when the thing that it was confusing people is that the president suspended the central bank governor, and later on, we found out that they negotiated with the guy, get the guy almost more than $250,000. So it was just that he wanted to get rid of the guy because he wanted to get rid of the guy to put his nephew there or what. That's all. Because if you suspend somebody, you suspend the person, why negotiate with the person? Why you negotiate with the person to get that money? Abu, welcome. So where are you? Aren't you in town? You're not in Monrovia.
Thank you, Chief. You're right. I'm not there. So quickly, good being on the show, and thanks to all of you for what you guys continue to do in the interest of our country. The fact that you take all your time in a busy society like America, come on the show, educate our people about how the government is governing them, whether it's it's a bad news, or it's a good news, it is in the interest of the people. I think you guys deserve commendation. I'm one of the happiest person today because the president is taking decision as he was, promised when he was canvassing to be president of the Republic of Liberia. Evidenced by, the recent actions in having people suspended, people who are not just, I got an appointed official in government, but people like have close relationship with the like of MCSS boss. This man is a cousin, a relative, sister's son. You have the level of, today Moda is not in government. Moda is one of the closer friends to him. They Moda resigned, yes, he did resign for a resignation or orchestrated by the pressure from the president. Though he denied, venture into the Guar Act, or he was not expedient to purchase our people. We have the level of party wars. We have Abdullah Kamal, my own brother. We have what they got. We have our local boss. We have how do you call it again? We have the recent suspension of the man from Bureau of State Enterprise. Adam Massacre, a very close friend of June. During the campaign period, he was always in the circle of June. So I think it is an exemplification that it is a new day in Liberia. You have a president who can take action irrespective of the friendship with you, irrespective of the status, your connection. So yes, I'm happy that my vote did not go in vain. But quickly, the issue that has to do with Noga Boss and the case being on the docket for some time. Tomalin, if we follow the Ministry of Information press briefing of last week, we had the LACC chairperson appearing there. She was quizzed by most of the journalists. I think even our reporter was there. She said the reason why some of these cases take long time to be adjudicated is because when they go into the investigation, sometimes those names, like those people of contact, people of interest, have to be written, and those people will have to give, reason. Those people will have to give justifiable reason why should they be given time. And when you ask the reason why we LCC, the LCC is there to investigate, give you due diligence, and provide facts. Because when somebody put 10 on your corridor, when somebody accuse you of a corruption, something that borders on your integrity, that may even have a proclivity to jeopardize your professional life, your professional experience. Guess what? You have to take it seriously because if you are indicted by the ACC and the investigation establishes that you are indicted, trust me, you're going to put them on your character, and no serious institution with that kind of record behind you will wonder where will be. So I think that one of the reasons why LACC can ready today. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why LACC can ready today. So who does simple live stay on a peak, is still a peak. Don't matter how moment, stop giving our moment ready. So unless our president, we are did not do so. Today we are witnessing a new day. And our poster in the chat room, these reforms are happening under Baga stewardship. Like the National Higher Education folks, we saw a release from them, and calling all universities who supposed to, who are given 1 year ultimatum to correct all of the wrongs. Did that happen in time past? No, it didn't happen. The suspension we are witnessing in contemporary governance since against stability. Man, you being around, but since against stability, I have not seen the kind of actions, the drastic action the president has taken as compared to if everybody he passed board who is Marasali, she did not take the kind of action the president is taking. So I'm actually proud of myself for casting my vote for a man who is thinking about bringing a normal governance to the people of Liberia. And let me salute him guys in the picture.
Well, let me say this. Like we said, right? Why is true that everybody wants justice, want accountability. Who violate or undermine the public trust should not be allowed to go impunity. Also, call for it not to be selective. Not be selective. Number one. Number two, like want to see people prosecuting people. They don't have the day in court. They just speed up with the investigations, and if they do the indictment over the case and go to court, and in the court of law, if the person is found guilty with the evidence the government brings against the person should be made to face the consequence of their action. If the person is not, if they're not found guilty, well, come up. But what concerning everyone now is that, take for example the former central bank governor, Aloysius Talu. Why you suspended the man? Then later on you say, okay, let talk. They will pay you off.
I don't have idea on that.
Well, you got idea, but on the news, yeah.
No, I don't. I have not seen that. I have not seen that report.
Yeah, everybody know that, and it suspended the governor of the central bank.
For me, I'm not aware. I'm
Well,
not aware that. No, I'm
yeah,
not aware. I'm not aware that the government paying off. I'm not aware of that.
yeah, on the press, the man, the government.
I have not seen it. If you got it, tomorrow you can send on the mail, chief. If you
Come
got
on,
it, document, you can send it on the mail.
brother, I'm gonna
No,
send it on the press.
I know, but I have not seen it.
The Boga administration paid the central bank governor who they suspended. They pay him off. They went to arbitration. They went to settle it off, settle the court.
No, I have not seen it.
So what the essence of paying somebody all that money when you just put your nephew there, because the man can complete his term, tenure, and then you put your nephew there. When you prove the man, then pay the man all that money, then you look. But again,
I have not seen that. I have not seen that.
we commend the president for his decisive action, for the political will to do these things. We commend him for that, but also we want to take a step further. It shouldn't just be suspension and then after that, it's okay, you pay the person off. I don't think it's fair to the Liberian people. I don't think it's
So,
fair.
so let me address that, right?
Yeah.
Too much just. The president is the chief scribe of the country. He has lieutenants who informs him on a day-to-day basis about happenings across the government. You already know, with the experience you have, with what you have seen, with all of the time you've been around, the presidency is a seat where you have lieutenants reporting on a daily basis. The president, the president acts on, the president acts on information you gather, on documentation that you receive that inform the decision the president made. For an example, we talk about the local boss, and somebody came all the other day say Abdullah Kamal suspended. The president have multiple.
Well, you see, when you decide to defend the wrong, that can happen to you. You're talking good, but you start defending wrong. You see what happened now? You see what happened? When he came back, we'll put him back. But look, like we said, right? We commend the president for exercising political will to suspend people for financial improprieties and so forth. But we just pray, we just looking forward to see that it should not just be selective. Number one, number two, we should go further. A little on, we shouldn't just say, oh, the person has been negotiating with the person so that they can bring in they can get the person, they can pay the person off. That's why we hope that that's not the case. But at the same time, too, what information that somehow that we got also is that after Masakwa, he's being on top of he's director general of the Bureau of State Enterprises, all the state corporations and so forth. Yeah, he works. He works along with them. He oversight over them. I can say, and I'm being informed that his suspension coming from the fact that he been trying to to streamline and the water and sewer that Mo Ali heads, the LPRC that Amos Tuer heads, MPA that Sekou Dougle heads. And he been trying to go on these guys to streamline the workforce and to try to cut waste and fraud and everything. And so now it is believed that they gang up on him and finally got him out of the out of the way. Okay, got him out of the way. Okay, so that's what they are fond of. Okay, and so I don't know, but Mo Ali, Amos Tuer, and Sekou Dougle, this guy being tough on your corporations, and so he decided to perhaps make sure that he's out. But again, we found out Arthur Massaquoi is he's a career journalist. I know this guy for a long time. During the Taylor administration, he was Director General of the Liberian Broadcasting System at one point in time. So he was deputy. He was deputy to the president, legal advisor to the president, Bushi Ben Keita. Yes. At that time, it was a factional arrangement. If you head the agency, the next person will be from another faction. So Bushi Ben came from the Ulimo faction. He had the slot. We gave him the slot. And then Arthur Massaquoi came from the MPP slot. He was deputy at LBS. Now, then Abu was just here lying, giving people wrong information. And I just got here. The government of President Joseph Boakai has given suspended Central Bank of Liberia Governor Lucius Tadu $374,239 as settlement of claims of unlawful suspension by the government. See what we're talking about? They settled the Lucius Tadu almost a little over $250,000. $374,239 as settlement of claims of unlawful suspension by the government. You see, the same GSCO, it can be recalled that the General Auditing Commission GSC audit report reviewed financial irregularities at the Central Bank of Liberia, amounting to nearly $300 million, highlighting unauthorized expenditures and potential money laundering, concerns raising questions about the administration's commitment to accountability and transparency. This later led President Boakai to suspend the governor, Tadu, who then challenged the decision in court. The court later ruled in his favor, probably leading to the settlement agreement between him and the Liberian government through acting executive bank governor Henry F. Samoa and Minister of Justice Attorney General Oswald Tuer, as it was obvious the Unity Party government didn't want to work with him. You see, Tadu was there. Tadu was nominated by President Weah for his term, and apparently the Boakai administration, they felt that he wasn't someone they want to work with, so they said, "Let's get rid of this guy." So they say they brought some charges on him, and GSC charges. They went to court, and the man won the case. And so they say, "You know something? We're not taking you back. So what we'll do, we'll just pay you off." That kind of some understanding. So if you get a guy $374,000 plus for the economy, our economy we got. Look how kind of money they give one person, but that's what happened though. Okay, but we'll see what happened with this case. There are a lot of cases on the book. Another thing is that we're getting information that that the former foreign minister of Liberia, in the Weah administration, Ambassador D. Maxwell Sakimia. Okay. Yeah. Let's say Ambassador D. Maxwell Sakimia, Vanin Salif. Vanin Salif was the Minister of Internal Affairs in the Weah administration. Mary Bro, I think she was the GSA boss during the Weah administration. And others will shortly be indicted by the government of Liberia on a witch hunt account of Saudi Arabia missing rights. And inside sources from the president's office inform the media that 50 others, 50 others former CDC officials will also be locked up on frivolous charges. Well, we've been hearing about this thing for a long time, but we're going to see what happened. But we're going to see whether the Burger administration will follow through on this plan we're hearing about to indict former CDC officials. If you indict them, let it be legit. Have evidence, the reason you want to do the indictment. It's not because they are former CDC officials and you want to go after them. This could be a problem. So we hear about this, that they're about to indict former CDC officials. The names, so it won't be strange when this takes place. But again, we want to say that. But if it comes to Ambassador Kemia, as I read, they say during his time as foreign minister, he was very instrumental in getting a lot of support for the Liberian people. Okay. Yes, and including rice, they gave US $500,000 for disaster victims and vulnerable Liberians. It was through his instrumentality that the Saudis provided that support to Liberia, and also, yeah, that is right here. If I yeah, if you can put this video up, whoever there, man, put the video up for me with Kenya and the Saudi and the rice donation. Yes, maybe many people don't know. Let me explain the story. The foreign ministry that you see today, I know many times you pass the foreign ministry, it was dilapidated, it was all messed up, but it was through the instrumentality of Minister Kemia. He went to work and he was able to solicit funds for the renovation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In fact, I personally did a tour of that entire ministry. I was in Liberia. That ministry is almost brand new elevators. I mean, everywhere is. I mean, no, there's no way in a ministry that is not renovated. Look at a brand new ministry, and it was done under the leadership of Minister Kemian, when you're foreign minister. And the money that they got, it wasn't money that came from the Liberian budget, though. Went out to look for solicit money for the ministry of renovation. And I think he also got money from the Saudis and from the Moroccan government to repair the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to make it up to date. You know, when I was in Liberia during the election, when the election ended, I said, wow, this guy, I mean, he's going to hand over a brand new ministry to the next foreign minister and to the Boga administration. I mean, but governments continue to elections, consequence of election, you know. And so the minute the election ended, he presented a totally brand new ministry to the new minister, Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti. She inherited a brand new ministry from Minister Kemenya, from the outgoing foreign minister. And it was through his efforts soliciting with the Saudis and the Moroccans that landed him, that gave them that ministry. So now I'm told that they're about to come after him. Like I said, I'm sure the minister and his team, I'm sure they wherever money they receive from this government, I'm sure they have documents to show how it was spent. So we're looking forward to this development. Let's hear what will happen. So we'll be looking forward to that, to find out what's happening. But it's a tough one. Right now, people are saying it's witch hunt. Whatever the case, we just urge the Boga government to make sure that they are acting in the interest of the people. You know, interest of the people. Oh, hold on. I just got a call. Let me return this call. Let me go on mute. Give me a few minutes. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. So yeah, so let's watch what's happening. I'm trying to get someone. There was a good news about a young Liberian today. Let me see if I can get this person to talk more about this. And this can be good, can be bad, but the one is good. Yeah. Well, a young Liberian American kid was drafted this evening. I'm told in the NBA. Thomas Sober. I'm trying to link up with yeah, that's a good news though. For the good news. That's a good news. Yes, folks. As you're aware too, tomorrow President Boaga will leave for Grand Gide to go for the reburial of former President Doe, the late President Doe, and also Madam his wife, the former First Lady Nancy B. Doe. The president will be traveling to Grand Gide tomorrow, I'm informed, for the burial. Well, I hope Liberians perhaps they have their own take on it, but if just hear from Liberians how they feel about that. If you want to just share your thoughts about it. You can feel free to call. Unless you don't have to come, if you want to come on, but you can come on and oh, okay. So you can call, yeah. You can call and what your thoughts about that and so forth. Yes, a young Liberian today was drafted at the NBA. That's big news though. Big news. Maybe people don't understand, but it's big news to come to this country. I mean, to come. Yeah, I'm getting. Liberians are all excited about him for him to see a Liberian. You'll be watching a Liberian born kid play in the NBA now, watching him live, and it's something that people should be happy for. Yeah. Yeah, there's it. Georgetown Hoya center Thomas Sober is widely projected as a first-round selection in the 2025 NBA draft. Most mock draft place the Michigan center somewhere between picks 19 and 30, with recent projections varying across different outlets. Sober is the youngest of three children born to Tene and Peter Sr. on December 25th, 2005. His older brother and sister played collegiate basketball, though they were not as accomplished as the youngest sibling. Sober was a four-star recruit out of high school, receiving offers from Miami, Mississippi State, Pittsburgh, Providence, St. Joe's, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Maryland, and Villanova before committing to Georgetown. Sober's parents were Liberian immigrants who fled the Civil War in the African country in the late 1990s to pursue a better life in the United States. His father, Peter Sr., was a soccer player and stood 6 feet 5 inches tall. He died of colon cancer in 2023 when Thomas was just 6 years old. Keeping the family together, Sober's mother, Tene, endured significant hardship, often working 17 hours a day to support her 3 children. The second oldest Sober sibling, Peter, inherited his father's height, standing 6 feet 9 inches tall. The forward played basketball in high school and college. Peter played for Trenton Catholic Academy, where he developed his skill as a forward. Wow. So, congratulations to this family, man. It's happy for the mother. I know the mother very well. I knew the father well, too. Peter Sober, a strong Barrow fanatic. His mother, Tene, they all lived in Trenton. I met this kid before, too, yeah. And imagine to be a widow and raising your two boys and your daughter. So yeah. So it was this evening, the 2025 NBA draft that was scheduled this evening in New York. In Brooklyn. He expected to, I heard he was drafted. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Congratulations to this family, to Thomas, and we pray for him to succeed in the NBA and he always look back to his country of nativity, Liberia. Yeah. So it's a good thing for him. Good thing. We're happy for him. We're excited for him, and we just excited for him, and it's a good thing for him to see him drafted. Yeah. It's true. It's Peter Sober, like his son. Yeah, he's the one. His son. Yeah. Yeah. So today, his family, they're all excited. The other clown, they call Edwin Mulba. You're a clown. You think you're a record of craziness. I call you a clown. What are you doing if you suffer from viewership? You think you see people, you just go and buy views, you won't do it, we should do it too, right? Clown. I call you a clown for writing that crap. Yeah, congratulations to the Sober family for this milestone. It's a great milestone for them. It's historic, very historic, and you give it to the man. You want to pray for him, let him go and make history. He'll be playing the NBA, and we'll be watching him live from anywhere around the world, in Liberia, everywhere, as he dominates. Once you reach that height, that level, you're a big time top player in the NBA. You just witnessed on Sunday. You saw the Canadian, the young kid from Canada, SGA, Shea Alexander. He became the MVP for the league and MVP for the finals. And he's just only 24, I think. He's already worth more than $100+ million. The life not fair. Life not fair, my people. That kid he's a multi-millionaire. He ain't reached 25 yet. He already rich. So it's just a blessing. just a blessing. So when you bring your child, you get even you bring the child, but you have a child in this country, and the child reach such a achievement, just tell God thank you, praise God for that. You know, just give God the glory for that, because Mr. Diggs, good to see you, brother.
Mr. George, how you doing, man? Right, are you online tonight?
Yeah, man. I just keep to kind of talk a little bit. I was just talking about this guy, Thomas Sober, the young kid from New Jersey. He was, I think, yeah.
Well, I don't know a lot about him though. I haven't been following college basketball religiously like I used to do like the last 10 years ago. So, but I just saw on social media that But just looking at the name, I knew a guy in New Jersey that he's deceased, and he was Peter Sober.
Yeah, that's his son. That's his son, yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. I know Peter. I'm got to know Peter Sober through another friend of mine. I met him in 1999 in New Jersey. He used to be in the Trenton area. He was very active with the Iron Barrel
Yeah, strong
stuff there. Yeah, yeah,
big barrel guy.
yeah. Peter Sober and the late Lafayette Jenkins, they were the big barrel people back then. They used to do that barrel eye event. The last event I went to was in, I think, 2099. The last one I went to in Trenton.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. I know they used to call you Uncle Pete.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. At least we got a homegrown. He like dropped at number 15.
Yeah, I think yeah, number 15. Yeah.
Yeah, from Georgetown. Yeah. Oh, hey, wait, that's the second Liberian from Georgetown. The other one was Austin Freeman. That's my cousin's son. He played at Georgetown. Played. That was about 10 plus years ago. He played at Georgetown. Yeah, so that's nice.
Man, so how things, man? How's everything going?
Well, that's it. Easy day by day. We're looking at what happening back home. All the craziness, the legal wrangling with the Capitol fire, and this
So,
other.
what are your thoughts
This,
about that? But first of all, before we go to that, tell me what your take on the president suspending the guy from Atta Massacre from the Bureau of State Enterprise. What your
well,
take?
I know what they say, management and financial malpractices. That's all. I mean, those things, those letters look like template letter. They just put your name in it and put the dates. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what been happening much at the Bureau of State Enterprise. So if you can get suspended and be sent to the LACC, that must be something very serious there. So we'll see what's happening. So we'll follow that. We got Abdullah Kamara on. The president should be embarrassed for that one, because the way it happened, he prematurely removed 10-year officials from the LTA. They went to court, and the Supreme Court ruled that the government was wrong to remove them, and he said he respected the court order. And the next day, he suspended people pending an audit. He suspended folks pending an audit, and then he sent the same 5 people back. And this audit that he suspended the folks for, when the audit came back, about a year ago, and this Abdullah Kamara was the main character in the audit. So you circumvented the court ruling to put somebody there, and using this audit that the person is the main character in the audit. And now then you got so I mean, so what are you going to tell the Liberian people? And that audit report came out, but it came out months ago, and they were working hard to bury it. It was just the noise that was being made. That's all, and that's why they couldn't bury it. I mean, it's the problem is it's never about the country first. It's about all these personal relationship and all these things. All these things trumps it trumps the well-being of the country. Trump the well-being of the country. And so we'll see what happened to Atta Massacre. We'll see what happened to Abdul Kamar. We'll see what happened with NAFA. We'll see what happened with MCSS. So I know the LACs will be pretty busy. And I think by when they do their report, they do their investigation, while they send it over to the Solicitor General for indictment, if he doesn't need, if they got probable cause, then we'll see what happens. Then they got to go to court. See what happens. But my point is, suspension is fire the people. I mean, why are you suspending them? To be a political appointee is a privilege. So there's nothing called suspension when you're a political appointee. You either on the job or you've been removed on the job. There's no, because if it get to a point that requires suspension, then you don't need to be back on the job.
But I mean, but my so far suspension. We saw the former bank governor Talu won his case, and then they said, "Well, we still want you, so we pay you off."
Yeah.
And I don't think, and I think it was not fair to the Liberian people because you pay him all that, pay the man that money, almost $300,000, and then you put somebody there who's related to you, and in that position. Now, if why that man tenure, as a sense, it could rule in his favor, let his tenure expire, and you don't have to put him back.
Yeah.
But you pay him all that money, and then you get another executive governor again, and you pay him, give him another big contract too, and so forth. So, and that's why people are concerned about.
And the central bank, like, because back before the war we had National Bank.
Yeah.
And so when Taylor became president, was part of these part of this structure, did part of this restructuring, they decided to follow international best practice, international standard. And they created the Central Bank of Liberia. I think it was 98 or 99. I think at that time the late Charles Councilor Bronski was president pro tem when they created the Central Bank. And then Elias Ebe became the bank governor. The Central Bank, international best practice, Central Bank is an independent entity. So they compensate them well, and they do not take order from the executive. So why is the president so concerned on changing the central bank governor? You know what I mean? The central bank is structured in a way that you have the executive governor and you have board of governors. So a lot of major decisions are done at the board of governor level. You know what I mean? You have one executive governor. So Italu is the governor, and the president just constituted a new board of governors. And Italu is just an executive governor. How much can you do? Because the board of governors, normally everybody has one vote. There's no veto vote, and it's an independent entity because central bank designed to make monetary decision, and the monetary decision is based on clean economic data. There's no order from the president to bring interest rate or print more money. They do it based on the economic situation in the country. So why are you so pressing to put one of your people in that position? You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't get it. And when Judith Brown was there, they had the late Green. He was there for 2 years. When President Sedipo Mills Jones, he was trying to fight it, but the Judith Brown government wasn't a constitutional elected government, so he couldn't fight that tenure position. Yeah. But Mills Jones lasted 10 years. Mills Jones lasted 10 years, and he was not taking order from Madame Salif. He was running the bank. He had a board of governor. The president constituted a board of governor. He was running the bank. She will appoint other top officials in the bank, like deputy governors. I think they got 2 or 3 deputy governors. Yeah. But once you get appointed and you get confirmed, you conform to the operating procedure of the bank. But this government is, they bent on like having complete. Hey, Tomalin, honestly, let them have the country, so they can be accountable for everything. There's no excuses now. You got the House, you got the Senate. You put your people in the central bank. You appoint one associate justice. You're going to appoint a chief justice. You got the country.
Yeah, but you just brought into my mind now. You said they got a country. You listen to I think we had Musa president, Chairman Benete here yesterday, and he says something that is worrisome. He said we don't have what they call legislature anymore, and right now you should just if you're serious about challenging the status quo, you just focus on your institution, your party, your movement. Focus on it and build a capacity, and so that you can, when the time comes, you can go and challenge it. Because honestly, the president he got all what he wants. He got the Supreme Court. He about to appoint a chief justice, and now if he appoints someone from on the bench, he will appoint another. He have opportunity to appoint another justice again. So you see, they assume that the only thing right now, I was told today that he lost is that all the cases that Madam Chief Justice Yo opened, she has to finish the case before she leaves the bench. Even though she turned 70 yesterday or today, I think.
Yeah, she turned 70, but she's going to stay on the bench for this term of the court. And after the term of the court, then she's done.
October 10, right?
Yeah, so I don't know that schedule, but this Supreme Court term, she will run it out. She will ride it out. I mean, you don't just walk away because you're 70. Yeah, so you ride it out, and then the next term of court.
So now,
yeah.
The president, he will appoint a chief justice. If he appoints, I'm hearing that somebody from Unity Party loyalists will be appointed to that position. Then he has an opportunity to bring another justice to replace the person on the bench again. Whatever the case, I don't know how you do it, but
if she leaves, there will be one open seat. There'll be one open seat. So you can either appoint a chief justice from within, and then make another and put another associate justice, or just bring somebody from outside and make them and just make them chief justice. There's not a hierarchy that you gotta be there. They can appoint you from anywhere. You can come from outside. And honestly, the chief justice is just one among equals because they all have one vote.
Yeah.
So there's no veto vote. They all have one vote. So I mean, I look at the positive side, and then you never know how you got Bese Yami, that former president we have put the longest serving president that bench is James Edward Wolo. I think you never know. Probably she might turn 70. Probably before this president leaves office.
Wow.
You got Associate Justice Kaba there. I don't know Yusuf Kaba age too. So I mean he's not. So I don't think anybody on that bench is less than 63 or 64. So there's a possibility there might be another opening. You never know. A possibility another opening. But I mean that's the consequence. I mean election has consequences. So that's it. So we have to live with it. But when representability say, oh, there's no opposition, representability, you are representing you're not an advocate sitting on the street. You're not advocates on the street.
Yes.
We had a conversation before. Our constitution doesn't suit the democracy that we want in the country today.
No.
When this constitution was written in the 83, 84, and I think we had a referendum 84, then we had election 85, right?
Yeah, originally, the 1986 constitution.
Yeah, so then we call it 86 constitution because it got into effect the day Samuel Doe was inaugurated.
Yeah.
I think we had a referendum out of 84 and election was 85, something like that. But when it was written, we didn't know we're going to have a civil war, that we're going to create a vacuum. We're going to have these cast of characters as senators and representatives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, the whole idea of institution doesn't exist. It's all about individuals. So we're going to go through this process. We're going to go through this pain and suffering if we don't sit and take a hard look at our constitution and say, how can we have institution in our democracy? So CDC, UP, ANC, Liberia Party, CMC. If Siafa Dix runs on that party ticket, that seat is for that party. That seat is not for him. That party can recall him. And so then when you do that, you will never have imperial presidency. You do that, you would have the situation where people from the opposition go on the other side to go and vote and remove an opposition speaker. So how can you control it if you don't have something like that? How can you control it? So right now you're gonna have an imperial presidency because the oversight is not being done, so they can play with. They feed out the money, and actually, the executive can be powerful and not be powerful if you have a strong legislative branch, because the oversight responsibility will keep the executive in check. But you can't have oversight responsibility when people in the country think that they tell you see everything the president wants, the president gets. It's not the case in a democracy. So we have to look at our constitution. We copy and paste from the powerful country on earth, educated population, even though they make some funny decisions, we copy and paste with the notion that we're going to be smart and educated and sophisticated. We are not. We got to write a constitution that meets the psyche of the nation.
Yeah, but Safa, you brought some good points. But I'll tell you this though. Since last night I've been thinking about it all day. That don't forget now, the governments, the about you appointed, the Supreme Court will be gone. There's the legislature. Now he has a speaker. Now the deputy speaker who were elected on the ticket of the main opposition CDC, he came out open to say that, look, I have no problem supporting the president's agenda, right? One is for the greater good of the country. I believe that I want Liberia to prosper. I mean, I have supported this president, but I want him to succeed. If he succeeds, this country will be better for the country, the greater good of the country. Okay? But to have the deputy speaker openly saying that I will support anything. So then where's the oversight? So that means if there's a problem for oversight, your constitutional responsibility, what will you do? You look, for instance, look at the issue that I'm trying now, the seaport bill.
Oh, I mean, I want to. That's something very crucial.
Saying about it.
That's something very. Tomalin.
Yeah.
To tell people to protest is not a good thing. Last year in Kenya, the government tried to put a finance bill.
Yes.
The president took the street. He dissolved the cabinet. He put that finance bill on hold. We have a country. The tribal thing in Liberia is all man-made. It's all man-made. Liberia doesn't have a tribal problem. Liberia tribal is developed by individuals for their own personal gain. Liberia is a unitary state. Everything is controlled by central government. Why would you want it? So we have the National Port Authority. National Port Authority has the fiduciary duty to the Republic to manage all seaports within the Republic of Liberia. Because we are a unitary state. We're not like the United States of America. The port of New Jersey is different from the port of New York. The port of Baltimore. Because these are federal states. The only federal republic in Africa is Nigeria. Yeah. So why would you want to? You say decentralization, and then you take the port. So how you call the port? Grand Bassa Port Authority, Sano Port Authority, and Maryland Port Authority, and then how much economic activity happening at those ports that you think you got to decentralize it, or people want to just lock it in for their own personal financial gain in the future. So now when you get in the future, the next government come, if you got Mr. X that is very good at port operation and he's not for Basel, the president will say, man, I can give you that job in Basel, the Basel will get vest.
But Safa, my thing is this though. I believe that we have a responsibility, everybody now, to educate the people because the bill was passed in secrecy.
Yeah, in fact, and guess what? The rumor is it's not confirmed, but there's rumor is that there's a Turkish group in town that's passing money around that got the Pro Tem and Dylan in their pocket, and that's how they're pushing this thing. And that's how you can't even call it 5G, 10G speed from the house. You passing up. Let me tell you something. You see the RIA?
Yeah.
All the years they had RIA, it was never incorporated in Liberia until when Madam Sadi came. When Madam Sadi came, that's when they passed the act that created Liberia Airport Authority. And that was international best practice, just to similar like the National Port Authority. So the person that is at Springfield is the station manager. At RIA, the deputy MD for operations also operate as a station manager at RIA. Same thing at National Port Authority, you got an MD that manages all the ports. And then you have a manager for port operation at the Freeport of Monrovia. Then you got Buchanan, Harper, and Greenville. So now, we're a small country, we're lacking capacity, the economy or skills. You think you're going to have the capacity to run a full operational port in Buchanan? How much commercial activity does the country have to have a full operating port in Buchanan? Other than people going to just grab the land and then sit on it for the future and do something. Because Buchanan Port, you got one side, you got ArcelorMittal. If everything goes well, you're gonna have HPX going to use some of that land there too for that with the port operation. Just what we had before. We have Freeport of Murder, we had the LMC Pier, the Beaumont Pier. So that's what's going to happen in Buchanan. So what are you going to do that? What are you going to have a separate port authority? So what are they going to do with the revenue? They're going to contribute to the national budget, or where the revenue going to go?
But the concern is the people not educated about this. They weren't educated about this bill.
Yeah.
No hearing about this bill.
No hearing. No stakeholder.
The private sector and the public civil society groups. No sensitization. Nothing.
But even the managing director from the port, they didn't even testify for a committee to tell you whether he agreed or fail it.
How do you want to just rush through the Senate and go to and they're on the president's desk now?
And so who's the author of the bill? Who's the author of the bill?
So and then the guy, there's a guy, one white man, right name, Gallery. Okay, he's one of the guys who people are talking about. Okay, whether he want funding, writing the bill for them, paying the bill for them, because at the end of the day, people are looking for money for the campaign. That's all they're doing.
Tomalin, Musa is a representative. Musa is not an outsider.
He said, he said the bill.
He hasn't seen the bill. He's a representative. You got a microphone. Speaker. Tomorrow, Thursday. They got session tomorrow.
Yes.
Speaker, go on the radio. I don't understand these guys. There's 73 people. Out of the 73, more than half of them were freshman senators. Out of that freshman senator, more than half of them were opposition senators.
Wow.
You got, look, no matter what happened with Kofa, when you get in this position, it's about building consensus. So Musa cannot galvanize 25 people to have a major press conference to address the bill situation and create national awareness.
I mean,
don't come and talk on the radio and wave your hand, because you know what's going to happen.
I don't think
So if Yombly gets away, she got her bar support. You know what's going to happen next? AML, the Nima caucus was saying, oh, and you get Yombly report. They mind, that Nima mind. They will come up with some unreasonable, requests. Just a president with 42 years experience that's work on just dividing the country? Is that a remaking of Liberia? Decentralization is about bringing the services to the people. It's not breaking the country apart. If I want a license plate and I live in Rowersport, can I go to the city hall and get a license plate? That's part of decentralization. If I want a national, they couldn't even do the national ID card thing right. Decentralization is about breaking the entity that's able to manage the national assets. The port is a national asset. You have an agency that manages the government asset. So you're going to break it and give it to the county?
No, but on a serious note, we need to really bring this bill issue up. People should be part of it, because it was done in secrecy.
Yeah, secrecy. But the man will be regime speaker. The man will be regime speaker. Kehleboe.
But the bill was done in secrecy, and the bill I heard is on the president's desk now. Make sure that they stop it. Stop it from this bill.
Hey, Mr. Gongloe, we're getting echo from you.
Yeah, I was watching the TV.
Okay, yeah. So you can't be a lawmaker. You just went through a whole political fight by the speakership. You still got at least 22%. As I like, you don't have to have a majority. You have to have a number to make noise on things. Sometimes, okay, yeah, they won that vote, but they know that vote is wrong. So the longer you keep quiet, the people are gonna have the day. Hey, Tomalin, we just ordinary citizens. If the lawmakers then cannot stand on the Capitol and address the issue and go and walk to the mansion and say, Mr. President, we don't want you to sign this bill because of the Boca say I will sign it. If you don't do those things, what's gonna happen? Really.
But the problem, I think, like I said earlier, this bill, the bill for the people for the election 2029.
It's not an election. Let me give you an example. You get up because get their plan now. They're going to get by support. They will find a port operator. Yombly then hand will be in there who will be the port operator, and they will be shareholder. It will have a minority share in that thing. That lifetime wealth for them at the expense of the country. Not only election, that's going forward. Let me tell you something, Tomalin. In 1987, 88, FPRC built a tank farm in Ganta with the intention of moving petroleum product from the Buchanan port to Ganta there so they can supply that part of the country with petroleum product. Right after that, a group came to Liberia through the then Finance Minister Emmanuel Shaw. They broke FPRC off. The FPRC became a storage and handling facility. A group came, they became LMPC. They started importing FPRC was storage and handling. Until that, from that day, FPRC never imported petroleum product into Liberia. Because some people personal wealth. That the same group that sued the government and took the plane that time in Togo. Remember when during the war?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same group of people. So these are the kind of things they put you right now. They're breaking the country off for the pocket. Mr. Gongloe, go ahead.
And people are still not doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I follow you guys. I don't entirely agree with the motive, the motive that others attribute to this port autonomy bill. I don't entirely agree with that. And I'm not saying also because I don't agree with it, the people who making an argument, they are wrong. My argument is also not necessarily that it's a fact. But here is my thing. We live in a very dysfunctional system of government or in public service. The National Port Authority has no competition. Whoever, even if you put a cat as as a managing director of the National Port Authority, whatever revenue you collect, they will still collect it. They don't bring any ingenuity, no innovation, nothing. All the public corporations have turned into is basically a funnel to channel money for the executive marshal and other politically connected people in public service. It's not just his government, it's triggered this from Torgbean conceived these ideas, which are very brilliant ideas, but he didn't live long to see that dream implemented fully because it was actually meant to be public-private partnership in a way. But under the Doe administration, these were the public corporations that people made money out, people became rich, and that continued throughout the war and now. So no one has actually thought, can FPRC be innovative? Can they even have filling station around? Can they do this? Can they compete with the private sector? Can they take private money and invest and expand their activities? No, the same thing with the port. So they're not competing. They just sit there, and because they are government institution, they don't compete with anybody to make money. So the fact they behave that way, no innovation. For me, I don't have a problem with people breaking them apart because it is based on their conduct that is creating this. That's the way I see it. But it doesn't mean those who think that maybe others are doing it to make money. It's also true, and it's possible that that's what they're doing it for. But here is my second argument, which I think actually encapsulates all of these things. Liberia is caught between two powerful forces. Unless those of us who consider ourselves quote unquote both people in the country understand that and begin to address it, we'll just talk in vain. We have one group we call the elite capture. The elite capture represent those influential people in public sector, like you gave example, Biden with Myean, right? That could just come with a private company and then influence government policy and change established policy, right?
Yep.
Today, in present day Liberia today, the elite capture in our public service now are the likes of Ellen Snow, Jeremiah Cohn, Prince Moi, Thomas Fala, Sir Joseph, or Abochie, Darius Delon, and the Yombi Kangas of the world. These are the elite step culture. Their interests actually dictate how much is put in the government budget and how to allocate now. And they don't do that all by themselves. They have their partner in the private sector that we call them the state capture. So the elite capture and the state capture cooperate together and sit over the head of Liberia. Because the state capture are the private actors, the private sector actors, the powerful one, like the Floor Toma of Nima, the Georgia Da, the Jetty, the Paul Seti, these, Aslam Mita, all the concession groups that most of the legislators, most of the ministers are doing business with their companies, right? So by that extent, they influence how government policy should function and whether they should implement certain policy or not. So they represent the state capture. I think the concept of the state capture is nothing new. It became popular with the Guta's family in South Africa, where the Gutas were influencing Jacob Zuma policy. And Julius Malema actually talked, and the public protector through the audit, they found that the Gutas were influencing the Zuma administration. The same thing is happening in Liberia. Many of our government policy, the one who fail to implement, the one who craft, are influenced by powerful people in private sector. But who are the people who in public sector who also act as agents or collaborators for the state capture? Are the elite capture. And these represent those guys who are budget manipulators. So these two forces are very powerful. If we don't capture, look, for me, they have taken over the country. And this is where I have
but this is the point.
It's not true the democratic elections. I'm coming 1 minute to me. These guys, the elite capture or Safa, you cannot defeat them in the democratic elections because they have the finance to even support your own people against you.
Oh, yeah.
The money. So it will take a revolutionary action to disrupt their power base. And that's what is needed. In any country where the state capture and the elite capture are increasingly becoming powerful, only revolutionary action can dislodge them. Check human history. Check the history of government.
Yeah. Okay, but Kehleboe, let me step in for a minute. Kehleboe, you talk about this corporation and the board. It all lies on the feet of the president. The president is the chief executive of the nation. He comes with a vision. So all these boards have statutory membership, like, from certain Ministry of Justice. Sometimes, most of the time it's finance and justice. Then you have, based on the sector, you have a sector minister on those boards. And then besides that, the president used the boards like, to reward people that have no value, just for them to have some kind of income. So that's why these public entities are not viable, because the board should have to set strategic directions for these entities. But when you put these people on the board, like, I can't even maintain the American Ministry or lemonade stand. You put on the board, so you got 3 statutory members plus the MD. Then you got like 3, 4, 5 person on the board that just political payback. So they don't get anything. They don't get anything. And then you have another entity, Bureau of State Enterprise. Bureau of State Enterprise, all these SOEs, Bureau of State Enterprise should be monitoring them. When people screaming and shouting, oh, the MP is not contributing to the budget. Yeah, okay, sometimes if you don't contribute to the budget, that means you work with the Bureau of State Enterprise. You say, for the next 5 years, I got the capital investment that we're going to do is based on our strategic plan. So give us some leeway. And these things are approved, what I mean? And these people financials are made public through the Bureau of State Enterprise. All these things are written on paper, but there's no political will to implement them. So the ineffectiveness of this entity lies on the feet of the president.
Yeah, but
you want to know one thing about public corporation?
Yes, my fear.
Public corporation has been audited since maybe 1985 or what?
Yeah.
No, they don't have a financial. They don't have a financial statement, audited financial statement. None of them have. So if you look at the people of Monrovia or they just give expenditure. How they spend. They don't give much on the income, the revenue side. They don't give much. They just give some. They don't give detail. Because what I did one time, I think 2015 or so, I took MPA financial statement and I took the Ghana Port Authority financial statement, and I started to compare the columns by column. The Ghanaian have more columns reporting than the Liberian. So Liberia, the way we do our financial reporting, they are hiding something because they're not being audited. They're not committing to audit.
But yeah, here's my greatest fear. Many people have shared. Many people sharing this fear too. You have a French businessman that they call him Vincent Bolloré. He's the one who's sponsoring this bill. Will benefit him. Okay. Number two, I was even informed yesterday that the reason why people beating on Tomafala, they said, look, this is Georgie. He played Tomafala air. If he dare decide to say he won't be tough on his government, he will go down. So because the government got a lot of stuff for him and that's the reason why audit. When you talk about audit in the legislature, they run after you. They run after you because you know something. If you start auditing people, those who serve in the Ways and Means Committee from the House, now these are people that like Nukwe, Jeremiah Kuhn, or whatever one,
Prince Moyi.
Prince Moyi, all the guys, Thomas Falane, these guys, if you dare audit the House of Representatives for the last 20 years, you audit them, forget it. The guys,
auditors will get missing.
Their political career will be. But Musa said,
And Tomalin,
he said a day you're talking about auditing the audit that place. He said the Liberia people will run proof all of that place.
So Tomalin, we can just resort to the fact that we can just call them rogues. And if anybody asks me to prove it, I come Kehleboe. Anybody tell me to prove it? If you say you're not a rogue, then I'll say submit your entity to an audit. And anything other than that, you guys are a bunch of rogues. So we should just go forward calling them thieves. The whole place is a crime scene. The place is a crime scene.
And that's the reason why these guys, that's why if Richard Kuhn, Thomas Fala, Senator Protem Lawrence, and whoever, they will never avail themselves to a public to come engage the public because the first question will ask you audit.
But guess what?
The dead test that place.
2024 January when they came back with about 55 or 56, Dylan cleverly they did a system audit. But has anything changed? They do not follow PFM law. They do not follow the procurement law. So these people operate like the Vatican we're in Italy. There's no law applied to them. No apply to them. The money that comes for them, they take the money, they put in the bank, they disperse the money, and no report, nothing. So,
and this is why these people hold on. Look, trust me, these guys will hold on to power for if like you said, that Kehleboe said too, if there's nothing if nothing is done to arrest this situation, these guys will have their way 2029.
And so instead of me, I won't call them honorable. When I call you honorable, I will call you honorable rogue. You're either a senator or representative or you're honorable rogue. If you're not a rogue, submit yourself to an audit. Anything shy of that, you are a rogue.
I mean,
$60 million. I think this budget year is the lowest. I think they got about 40 something. Don't get it, but you got $60 million, $40 million going among 103 people plus their support staff.
Wow. I mean,
do you know what is that? Hey, you are muted. Kehleboe. You are muted.
It's sad.
He lives in Minnesota called Wonder Fremont. He actually, he has multiple backgrounds. He's an accountant, he's a lawyer, he's something else. He's forensic, whatever. He worked for how do you call the group? This financial intelligence unit.
FIU.
Yeah, FIU. He worked there before. I think he was either a lawyer or something, or the accountant. He actually took the allocations, the budget alternate report, what has actually been spent on the legislature from 2006, I believe, to 2022. You know how much the Liberian government has spent on the legislature?
Or 1.2 billion?
$889 million, almost $1 billion.
Yep.
That's how much you spend. And that's the legal one from the budget.
Yep.
We're not talking about the kickbacks, the brown envelope. We're not talking about that one. And that's the money you spend and no audit.
Wow.
Has never,
Yep.
no one has been made to account for it.
So, but then look, then I agree with Musa when he said, Lana, he said, Tomalin, they order this place. The fire that happened was small. The people see what they have, what the kind of money they put up with. They will run out of it. And that's true. And then too, but then what is stopping the people from
But Tomalin, then what gave them the moral compass, the public account committee, to call people to answer the audit?
But and somebody say, you might not call them rule, you might call them out. Say because they say, they say you can say acting like rogues or the alleged rogue because you got to want somebody to sue you.
Well, then they should submit. Let them sue me. They must submit to audit. If they submit to audit, then everything will be clear. If you know you're living on your just income as a representative or a senator, then stand up. But guess what? The thing with Musa, why I don't agree with Musa. There's more freshman representative than the people they met there. So the freshman representative are clean. They will demand an audit, but they went there. They see some of them see the free money, so they joined the party. Because if I walk in the place for the first time, you guys been there for 5 years or 10 years, and they play so bad, I will make sure that I won't get contaminated. Yeah.
No, but take for example, right? Let me ask you a question. If this government right now they are prepared now, they're tackling agriculture, the legislature and the road. Now they come up with all of these things and they succeed in delivering all these things. Now they have a grip on the country already. You think if it coming to 2029, in fact, while I see what happen, I foresee in the coming weeks, coming months, more opposition people start joining the government. That's been the cycle. You see the deputy speaker now say, me, I will support the president because he's afraid. He didn't do it. They will start checking on him too, and he won't go through that problem. Second thing, the other guy from LPDP, where he Moses Cuddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he now flipped. The LPDP guy. I think we are hiring at the port at the aviation era.
Yeah, you will save aviation.
Now he going to the rescue now. And believe me, what the guys, and then what we're hearing tonight, I just told you guys that they are planning to indict former Minister of Myean, the former Minister of Internal Affairs, Vani, Salif, and Mary Brown, other people then for corruption, right? For alleged corruption. Now, what the guys are planning to do right now, get most of the CDC guys and put them in court and prolong legal battle. So as a result, they'll keep them from talking. Okay, then for example, look at our friend Tue. Tue start talking, they say, okay, we're gonna go. They start coming after him quick. So right now he can't talk. So legal battle. So they say we're not silence that voice. Now, whoever I talk again, we'll make sure all of them silence. And there was as the time going to buying time. So they come to the election time. The problem they will face now, you got to figure out whether Boga will still run. If he's running, whether he will carry Jeremiah Kun as VP still, or he will carry somebody else as VP. Okay? They're having their own internal fighting. Now, don't be surprised. They say, they come and say the person gets scanned on them. They say, based on the fact we get scanned on, we can't carry you. So, but at the same time, too, these guys, they are holding on to power. They're not prepared to relinquish it. You think UP will get power all easily? They ask this to give it. You must be on another planet. The boss they will consolidate, they will hold on to it, they will have the resources because watch they put bill. It was done in secrecy. Watch the mineral agreement, the metal steel, right? Somebody said today, the people bear somebody told me they say they have taken almost how many $1 billion out of that bill for the last 20 years.
I think almost they have taken about $2 billion.
all of Liberia for the last 20 years. And how much money came into Liberia? And they're asking for 25 more years. Why should they get 25 more years and nothing has changed?
But Tomalin, I hate to talk about the ArcelorMittal business because we're just talking the blind. There's something in Liberia you don't notice. We can see every document, but we can never see the MDAs, even the existing one. Is that a reason why we can't see these MDAs to read them? So at least if you're asking for another 25 years, let's see the one that we've been operating under, and let's see how you've been performing under the current one. But the Liberian people cannot see these MDAs from Madam Salita. If anybody has seen these MDAs, they can please share with us. Have you seen it?
No.
The B Mountain, China Union, Western Cluster, ArcelorMittal, Golden Verilium, all these concession agreements, you never see them. And guess what? And that's a big disservice to the country. You can go search the internet. There's a website you can go search all the different acts that were passed during the Madam Salita time. You will never see a concession agreement there.
But I'm surprised that the Nima folks though. Because
okay, let me listen to Kehleboe.
Nima folks AML about to be coming getting 25 more years. And not to, and I hear Yantuan making noise, but I just noise, I think. Because nothing you do about it.
ArcelorMittal is not leaving.
Eh?
So ArcelorMittal is not leaving.
You're not leaving, but the idea you're coming give them a cake again.
No, you see, so Tomalin, and I keep telling people this, it's a wrong approach to the mineral sector or even concession agreement in Liberia. Because every time it comes to this, they all accounted people. They say, no, the assets is for the Republic of Liberia.
Thank you.
So the government has to approach it as such. There are affected communities. You are the government for the country. You can advocate for the affected communities, okay? It doesn't have to be the affected community to advocate for themselves. Government can take the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Internal Affairs. They can take a government team and say, we're going to have a 2-week long consultation tour in each of the affected counties to talk to ordinary people. What are their expectations? What the company is doing, what you think the government should do. And you take that along with you into a negotiation with government and say, well, the people who live with you where you operate, this is what they think. And we're going to make that happen. You don't have to allow to say, oh, Nima people should talk, or Grand Basso people should talk, or Bonganti people should talk. That's a wrong approach. And that's why the communists get away with it. Because what happens in the case of Pewee, in the case of Nima, one ArcelorMittal takes care of PYJ, your business, Polytechnic, they get money. Nobody talks. Okay.
Thank you, Kehleboe.
But you guys are forgetting though. I'm telling you again, I'm saying it.
Why you say forgetting? What are you talking about now?
I'm talking about
Tomalin, check your WhatsApp message. Tomalin, what Kehleboe just said, that's what we should start from. These are national assets. Yan Twine can speak as senator to represent his county, the affected community along the stream, along the path of those things. We need to see the ownership structure of these concession agreement. Then you know what, because I think I sent you. I can send you some documents from the 70s and the 80s.
The Lamco JV.
Yeah, that was Lamco ownership structure. Bethlehem Steve, before it became Lamco, Bethlehem Steve was 25%. The other 75% were Liberian government, have 50% of that 75%. Liberian IO Limited have 50% of that 25%. The place you see Lamco replaced Bethlehem Steel because Lamco became the selling agent for the O. So then you had Liberian government officials sitting on the board of Lamco. So the financials were open. Do we have Liberian government officials sitting on ArcelorMittal Liberian board? No. So the people just
we don't have nobody on the board for Liberian on the
you have nobody on the board. So
the former chief just said I thought he's
no, he's just a representative. He's just a representative, Liberian government representative. He doesn't go to Liberian government has at least 3 to 5 person on Lamco board.
Yeah. So but Safa, I want to just make a point on this. I've actually said nobody see the MDA. It's actually easy to see the MDA. I've seen the MDA. It's just that the reason why people don't I guess even on the internet, if you check, you see it. If you Google Aslam Mita MDA with the governor of Liberia, I believe you should see it. And different institutions have taken interest in that. In fact, Columbia University Law School did an analysis of the first MDA. When I worked in government, I was secretary to the Interministerial Mineral Concession Committee, the technical committee, rather. I was secretary for 6 years. So a lot of these concession agreements, I believe I should still have them on my external drive here. I've seen it. I read it. Aslam, do you know we got Aslam Mita Liberia? Because it was
AML. It's a subsidiary. Yeah. It should be a subsidiary. Yeah.
So, but I think there are things that we know, our government officials know, don't act on there for good reason. And the reason I gave earlier was these are elite capture and state capture. These two groups work together to exploit the public. And they don't do that out of ignorance. They do that intentionally because they are complementing each other. And that is what is happening. So what is happening, as if you read on the MDA, there is a monitoring mechanism set there. In fact, if you look at labor employment, I think it's in section G. I believe it's section G. They have a schedule implementation where in the first 5 years, in top management, this will be the percentage of Liberian in top management position. After 10 years, this will be the percentage of Liberian in top management position. After 15 years, so the intent of that chart was meant to gradually wipe out foreigner in top management position. But here what Aslam Mita did, which is, some people think that they are smart, but they're not smart. All they did is, because money is a complex operation, so they take a South African group and subcontract and say, okay, you build a railroad and do the railroad maintenance for us. Then they bring a Ghanaian group and say, okay, we have this other part of the mine, you do the mining there for us. Then they bring another Nigerian group and say, okay, you do. So they subcontract different operations within UKPA, within a mine, to different groups, right? And this group come now, the group is not in the MDA. So they say, okay, we are not bound by the MDA because we're not in the MDA. So a lot of the workers, you see, with Aslam Mita that wearing the yellow vests, they are contractors, they're not directly with Aslam Mita. But the governor of Liberia can hold them accountable because it's corporate agent relationship. If I have agreement with Siafa, and Siafa says his daughter will implement portion of that agreement, she carries that responsibility also, right? So this is all the government of Liberia needs to do.
No, but I'm
subcontract people.
Let me read a little paragraph here. The company's liberalization policy over the period has also met with resounding success. As a result of this policy, several capable Liberians have taken up positions in companies which were formerly held by expatriates. Our spinning off policy also has been utilized to maximize advantage of Liberians with business acumen who have taken over many of the businesses in areas such as local transportation, supermarket, and commercial activity. I'm reading something from the LAMCO General Manager's annual his quarterly report in 1973. I think you can also ask Mr. Gongloe. Mr. Gongloe is much older. LAMCO was strategically trying to minimize the expatriate count in the area, so they decided to train Liberians at all skill set, from machinists to engineer. These people been there 20 years. Like Kehleboe said, they subcontract operational activity to companies. That company fly people in, do where they go, fly people in, do where they go. They come on 3 months, hour to go, 3 months, hour to go. So at the end of the day, this is a clear example of being spectator in your country. You just sit and watch the people. That's what happened in there.
That's how Aslam Mita is operating.
Yeah, but then my question is, what's stopping the Liberian government from doing the same thing, the same ownership structure, partnership structure? What's stopping them from doing it?
because
But we don't know. But the MPA,
President was,
you got the elite. Tell me that's what I'm saying.
he praised and Assadam, he praised them. He said they're the best in the country.
Who said that?
President Boga praised them.
But Baga represent the elite capture.
Yeah, but then you guys don't,
These are the people who
they don't go after the Minister of Labor for giving people illegal. Work permits and the librarians can
and guess what, Tomalin? Every single expatriate that comes to that country, these people through the legal counsel, they go and file the paper with the government of Liberia, and people get the registered work permit to come and work into that country.
Wow.
They get a registered work permit to come and work into that country. So, and the sad thing is mining. I think if it was a serious country, we should be one of the veteran mining skill set in Africa. I mean, we got that sector been vibrant in the country for years.
I look at it here. They had Liberians working on top management position. They had Wilmore Gibson, accountant. They had T.K. Anderson. They had John G. Ransom, superintendent of schools. Charles Williams.
That's Lanco.
But
Tim Johnson.
We're talking about us. Let me tell you, bring it Lanco.
But then why
that was 52 years ago. That was 52 years ago.
Why can't it be like this today?
Because you're talking about serious government.
That was 52 years ago, Tomalin.
Oh, yeah, T. Nelson Williams, William McCready, Fasia Massacre, Philip Johnson, Francis Salif, Augustus Reeves, John Smart. My man.
You're talking about serious government. We're not talking about the Boy Scout group that coming.
Yeah, but then here's the thing though. Are you aware that the Boy Scout group will rule for the next 12 years?
That's fine. You must say sitting down in America.
No, I mean, I won't go Liberia. I won't go live. I won't be here all my life.
But Tomalin, you talk about the Boy Scout group. The sad thing is, some of our compatriots that are in government, they just talk. Look, history should be your guiding principle when you're in leadership. History be the guide. People should read. You notice in the country that when you become president, they ask you, they say, what kind of book you read? Have you read book for any former president? I gotta know your mindset. I gotta know where you're coming from. You know, when they be laughing, when Lamco was Lamco, you had this entity that built a community, that built a full-blown community. You grew up in Firestone, you grew up in Boma, LMC, NIOC. These people were there to be part of the community. They were not there to come and take out. So this sit here today and just write and just get these people a blank check. You see that ownership structure. I've been searching the internet for years. I cannot see a hard copy of the MDA to see what the ownership structure is.
Well, so what do you think? You just submitted, send it into the law. I will put a negotiating with the people then. Tell them say
but Tomalin, that ownership structure was created in the 50s, post World War, just after World War II. Because the companies, they started planning the money. Blanco shipped the first oil probably 62, 63. So before the first shipment, they had to build a track, everything. But the ownership structure was put in place. In the 50s, Liberian government was a partner. Then in the 21st century, we waiting on royalty, 3%. We got a gold deposit. We give it to some Turkish people. They take it and then we get what they feel like giving us. And then our minister then sit. The final minister then they sit with EU, $60 million for 3 years. That $20 million a year, you take picture, you smiling. That's success. So when are we going to develop?
So what happened in Kenya, right? What they call it, the Gen Z?
Yeah, that's the 1 year anniversary from the protest last year.
That protest happening right now, right?
Well, it makes sense because they had a protest last week and somebody got shot. Somebody got killed. They had the person on video. They showed the security person shooting the person, and then this happened to be the anniversary from last year. And so yeah, but I mean, so these guys, the other time when Mr. Nangwe said, the progressive have never been given power. The progressive have always been in government.
No, but to the defense.
No. Guess what? Let me tell you something. The progressive proteges have always been in government. Not the leader, no, Tomalin, not the leader becoming president, but they are overbearing government. You know, I mean, okay, the leader that backers, the people that are from that, they never want presidency. But guess what? Guess what? The ones that take the ones that take the government job, when they go astray, have you seen another progressive go behind the microphone and criticize that person?
No,
let me give you an example. The Guinean man got taken from prison under the cover of darkness and handed to Guinea. The National Security Advisor of Liberia claimed to fame that human rights. The end progressive chastised him for that. He's not a security advisor to take a prisoner who's to be political prisoner and hand over to a junta government. You're not a security advisor. You want to tell me know about it? And you know, and guess what? The progressive is said. Then they will say we're never giving state power. But you're bending key position. The finance minister, Tomalin, the finance minister is a protege of progressive because they all subscribe to that politics at the university campus. So they're all being key positions. They haven't been on the outside.
Being a head, for example, let me give an example, right? Why the head is important. Right in America, yeah. So happened recently, just a few days. Trump disagree with what I call with Tulsi and Kepa, right?
Yeah.
She said that no, they don't have very much evidence that Iran is they are about to reach the stage of to acquire nuclear weapon. Whatever the case. He said that's not true.
Okay, let's just throw the people aside because this thing is happening and that's normal thing. But let me give you an example.
It shows you that the head had a progressive. I think the closer they all in power with that interim time.
No, but Tomalin, let me give you an example. Yeah, sometimes you don't have to be the head, but when you have one of yours in an influential position, it's something. Let's give you an example. After 9/11, you had two groups. You had two groups on the national security team. You had the neocons, they were hawks. They were hawkish, and you had a reluctant general, Colin Powell, who felt diplomacy was the way. So you know what I mean? So there were two groups, and then Colin Powell, principal deputy, was retired naval guy Dick Armitage. So you notice that former generals go to State Department because they feel diplomacy because it's hard to temper the war.
Yeah.
But all along, we knew there were two views that were leading up to the Iraq War. That was the hawkish group that go there, regime change, knock the door down. Colin Powell like diplomacy. Let's get the inspector in. Let's get the UN involved. Let's build a coalition. You know what I mean? Okay. So we can say, oh, because he wasn't president, you had somebody that is seat at the table doing when the decisions that were being made. This man is not a security advisor. If he doesn't have a seat at the table, so you want to tell me the Guinean fly or plane to Ralphie under the cover of darkness, they take a prisoner from something and hang over there, and he doesn't know anything about it? That's a national security issue. He's not a security advisor. Did he did he agree with it, or he just punch your parlor, you wash your hand?
No, but you see also
because you see that the problem, they want to be advocates, they want to rule right, but they don't want to take responsibility. They always if you want to wash your hands, stay out of government. Advocates is a hard thing. It's a hard thing.
Somebody irrational, right? You know what George Tenet did, right? I think you're the CIA boss.
Yeah.
He Bush, he said, "Oh, slam dunk."
Yeah,
right?
slam dunk.
Slam dunk. He misled Bush, and Bush went over there, and nothing. The front door, no weapon of mass destruction there. Okay, the same thing. So right now,
but Colin Powell took them. The whole team were going to the UN. Then the inspector know all that 3 to 6 month time to go through all that process. Because if he hadn't gone to the UN with the inspector, it was going to be tough to get allies to go in there. You know what I mean? We're going to be America all alone. But my point is saying that you don't have to be the head to say, oh, we're never giving power before. The neocons had a seat at the table. The diplomats had a seat at the table.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. See if somebody want to respond to you.
Who's that?
Hey, come in. Go ahead, you live.
So, yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry I couldn't come on to join you. I'm a little bit tied up. But, I wanted to react to my younger brother here. Every now and then, they throw a little bob here and there. Look, when we say the progressives have never taken power, there is a reason why we call a government a CDC-led government or a UP-led government or an NPP-led government. That government is not headed by a progressive, and therefore, when you are in there, you are doing as instructed by the head of the government. Right now, he's asking whether we've criticized progressive. Right now, Kofi is in the government. Kofi is a progressive, and I have said over and over that I'm very concerned with his performance in his government. Alaric is in his government. Deacon is in his government, and we have said, we have concerns with the performance. I think that's fair enough. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We, the progressive community, have never really had a government that we can say this is the closest we've come has been Amos Sawyer. But even then, there was a divided country, with Greater Liberia and, the Monrovia government. So, yes, we do have our faults, but if you're going to call them, I just want to make sure you call them right. But great show, guys. Thank you very much for doing this.
Okay. Well, at least I woke him up, man. No, but he's saying the same thing I'm saying in a different way. So okay. So when you look at the likes of Kofi, he's not a minister. He's a national security advisor. You get the ears of the president. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So right now you can't. Go ahead.
There's no excuse for that. You got the ears of the president. If you say you're a minister of labor, then you can say, okay, this guy take marching orders from the executive mansion. But the marching order come from the executive mansion, that man has a voice in that marching order.
No. What I'm talking about, you have a progressive agenda that has been set by the progressive team, and therefore it is being executed by a progressive, team. What you have right now is a group of fellows, some of our guys who have come in to help the government. But really, this is not a progressive government. This is not a government that is headed by just a blogger here. He briefly passed through the UPP. He's passed through several institutions, but we can't really call him a progressive. But I'm talking about the head of a government executing a progressive agenda. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but again, I will listen to you guys.
The progressive, but do you think because the division in the progressive, that's the reason why they have never had a government divided? The issue with Moja and Power.
Yeah, that has actually played to our detriment. We have, for a very long time, we had this so-called artificial divide, that kept us apart. But I would say over the past 30, 45, 30, 35, 25, 30 years or so, I think we managed to overcome that. You were here, Yanko Cabo, Larry Towa, Steve Kwekapo, even the late Jimmy Logan, Alfonso Carr. We made several attempts to bring the two teams together. We had a technical team working out the modalities. We got to a point where we even drafted a proposal. My principal, Matthew, and at the time, the LPP principal was, I believe, Dr. Tikote. We got stuck with the two of them agreeing on how to execute. They're coming together. But yes, this divide has also kept us out of government. We realize that. But this divide is only apparent to us. To the outside world, nobody talks about, Matthew is different from Sawyer. They all see us as the progressive group. And so why, we seem to divide ourselves on the outside, and everybody is lumping us together, and it has not helped us, this division. But yeah, there is a division among us. But now today, I can't say that. Thomas Du, for instance, is one of my best friends. Alara is my best friend. Even Kofi is my best friend. I am from the UPP. They are from the LPP branch,
Okay, Mr. Lang, let me ask you a question. Were you involved with IGNU?
I was involved with IGNU. I worked with the National Readjustment Commission.
Okay, so let me ask you. I mean, if you don't know, probably you can tell me you don't know. Well, is it true that there was a rift between the late Dr. Sawyer and the late Barcos Matthew during the days of IGNU when Barcos was foreign minister, and that's why sometimes Sawyer was using envoy instead of using the foreign minister?
We heard about those things. Again, it's the same thing we were just discussing here. The whole concept of one upsmanship. You know, one doesn't want to be outdone by the other. Yeah, we've heard those things. You know, but to the extent that they impacted, you know, major policy, I am not sure. But you know, Guar is a UP member. He was one of the best. He was one of the closest with Dr. Sawyer. He was in the Ministry of State. Alfonso Guar, working directly with Dr. Guar was in the Ministry of State too. So I think there were times when they collaborated. But I really believe, yes, there were times those little divisions got in the way. You know, I cannot deny that, but I cannot also say it stood in the way of major progress.
The reason why I'm saying that, because just a little FYI, for 6 months, I think 6 months in 1991, like mid to late 1991, I spent like 6 months at the Liberian embassy in Banjul when they just opened it, when they let Ambassador Maurice Scott serve as ambassador there.
Oh, you're working.
And I worked there for 6 months, and I went that when I met the current ambassador to Ethiopia, George Patton. He was sent our first secretary in Banjul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And so that's why I asked him, because there used to be whispers in the office. So be whisper. There was always some kind of whispers in the office there.
I don't see our left hand, the progressive all taking power. Yeah, our left hand. 99 days lifetime. But that the body work.
Well, you know what? The progressive
Thank you very much for the time.
Okay.
the progressive is somewhat of a victim of politics when people define you.
Yeah, but yeah,
Peabody, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see you, CFI. Good to see you, man. Why you need to come in the afternoon and make some debut on the regular show, man.
I'll be earning my money. I'll be watching you guys and earning my money, man. I would try to make it one of these days.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, it's you know, I was listening to the show. Actually, I just drove from Delaware on my way home. I was listening to the show, and they were talking about some of the veterans during those days, you know, and Tomalin were talking about Ramsey and other people that were appointed in the government that were running education in Liberia at the time. You know, but they set up a beautiful foundation. There was an excellent foundation that the people set up. You know, those days you could even go to University of Liberia. You could even go to Tottenham High, go to the different counties. We had the different multilateral high schools, Zedru, Stanley Coley, and all those places. You know, but the folks came in and told them this thing. And again, the same people, our people was all on the street. They were marching everywhere, brought in about their, you know, it was highly tribalistic. People were coming and saying, "Oh yeah, you know, those systems that were put in place." And what did we witness? 10 years, 20 years down the road, the entire system torn apart.
Yep.
The entire nation torn apart. Liberia. I don't know whether we exist as a real nation. I really don't know. You know, because when we look at things that are happening now, there's no respect for the rule of law. I mean, the Senate, the executive can make any decision they want, and once you oppose it, they go after you. So I don't know what's going on in our country, you know, because we see a lot of people being suspended recently, and stuff. I don't know, but you know, as one who's frequent in our country, I don't know where we're headed. I mean, for our generation, I normally just say it's done. It's really done for our generation. How will we see real transparency? How will we see development? How will we see changes in Liberia? You know, I think it's just going to be difficult. Unfortunately, Liberia will continue to go after each other every time. But we don't even have a legislature that help us. They really don't. People are nominated by the president, and they never get grilled the way they should be grilled. And they get confirmed because they are meeting behind closed door at night, promising senators and others what they're going to do for them. If you confirm them, this is what I'm going to do for you. You know, so.
I'm looking at the GSC, the front page African paper tomorrow. GSC is saying that LRA failed to remit $6.7 million in the government. Oh, so LRA, I'm sorry, Kehleboe Gongloe, because Kehleboe praised this. He said
When
that's
so they say LRA refused to remit 6.20 million.
yeah, according to GSC. And the senators then slamming the Medtech Scientific Limited, the Medtech agreement. I see the senators on Momo Saros, Dillon, that woman from Kema, Amara, all of them. They're concerned about. What I've noticed about our people, whenever there's an agreement, and if they are not part of it, they are not involved. I want to make the noise. So I don't know how far they want to go.
Yeah, so because probably there's some money somewhere and they're being closed on it, so they will scream and shout, and then
Exactly.
by Friday you won't hear about that thing again. Forget it.
Forget it once.
Forget it. They would sit and walk in our hallway, whisper, and I'll be the end of it. Like I told you, I said, look, our constitution doesn't fit the psyche of the nation.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. That's true.
You can't take a constitution from a vast country and think it's going to work like that.
It doesn't. That's true.
It doesn't fit. So look, we need Charles Taylor left 2023. I mean, Charles Taylor left 2003. August 11.
Yeah.
We almost 22 years removed from Charles Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and we're still looking like the war just finished last month.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're still dealing with a 39-year-old constitution.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's like when Madam Salif King, her first term was the pretty much kind of remaking, they passed a lot of law, try to get up, you're doing a lot of soft stuff. But then the second term, when it was time for things to take off, we went back to our old ways.
It went back down. Yeah,
and we just continue to hold it. I
mean,
mean,
the guy on Front Page Africa.
I mean, we're having problems. It's like
that's the thing about Liberia.
That's it. We can't get it right. We can't get it right.
It's not going to be. We could get it right if we want to, but then
I watched your entire Senate public account hearing.
Yeah,
it's good to. It's important for you to take your time and read it. The Auditor General was sitting right there. He and Double Jala went back and forth. Most of the report period, the audit period, is actually under Thomas Doe now, but because government is continuity, so then he has to answer for some of them. Okay?
The late.
Yeah, the late Thomas Doe. Okay, so and of course some of the senior management currently there. What would Thomas do now? They were sitting there. But he has to defend the institution in terms of course, he knew Thomas Donald very well. They were very close friends. So he has to defend a lot of this stuff.
So what the guy reported is not true?
Like, it's not like attribute. When you want to make attribution, it's not him. It's not only his administration. That's the point I'm making. Because, for example, the Meta money, I know, CTN or Meta money or whatever. Under Thomas Doe 9, the arrangement was all of the money. Meta kept the money. I think there was a guy sitting there. They call him. Liberian guy. He represents this Meta group. That's somebody I know. They call him. I'll call his name. He teaches accounting at the University of Liberia. He used to be at LRA. In fact, he was, I think, one of the commissioners, and he's turning aspire.
Oh, I know the guy you're talking about, Kehleboe. I know the guy you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. He's like, face a little bit light, not dark skin. So he was there. He represents Meta, right? Meta Liberia. So Thomas Doe now, the arrangement was that all of the money they collected from the different oath inspection, they kept it, and I will make requests to them and say, you spend this, you do this. So some of the expenditure, the auditor flag that this one, there's no procurement plan on this one. So the current boss was saying, listen, Meta is the one that spend the money. LRA may request to them and say, spend on this, spend on that. So they should answer that, not LRA, because LRA only wrote a single request to them. But under my administration, we move that ownership of the money from Meta So it is now directly in the government or account with LRA. We are keeping it. Now we use your money. For example, one of the things you honor double that you flagged or in the early report was at the end of I think 2024, because the collector, the workers they were, he gave them $250 annual bonus. But he said, look, we're not going to give you the physical cash. Let's identify, we want to give you goods, items. But let's identify where they sell these things. The AR will give you coupon that has that value. You go if you want to buy rice, you want to buy burger, you want to buy crystal oil, whatever you want to buy. You go to those locations and then you get a supply, and this business will bring a coupon and AR will pay them. But we're not going to give physical cash. But the value of what we're giving as a bonus is this. In the GSC report, they say, why you didn't have procurement plan for that? It was laughable because I'm not a procurement plan. If you're giving bonus, procurement plan is like something you're going to procure and you see it in the future. It's in the budget. It's budgeted for. That this is part of the budget for this year. But giving bonus, you don't budget bonus because it's based on performance, So he said this was a year-end bonus we give worker we could not give, and in fact, it's a catch. You don't make procurement plan because you're not procuring anything, but you can make procurement plan for things you buy. Why you do a cash is you get cash plan, and we don't do cash plan. So those are the I watch it, just it's on YouTube.
But I mean that's that. Well, but let me ask you, right? The issue about it only came out the evening. Quickly, before you leave. The issue about it trying to indict Myean and other CDC officials. But LEC is being investigating.
No, I think that has been a speculation that all the team Bwaga is doing, suspending, I think that his stuff is actually trying to prepare the public mentally that I'm actually getting part of the rumor we hear is that he's been waiting for the new Chief Justice, for him to appoint new Chief Justice. Once you appoint new Chief Justice and Associate Justice, because he's likely taking somebody from the bench, that means he'll create another vacancy, then he bring. So you're going to do the 2 appointments. Once he does that, then you will start. Then you will now have a majority on the bench, and you start to move ahead with the prosecution of former government official, CDC government official. So, but he's actually suspending his own people just to prepare. So, the people are actually talking for his own people. Are you ready for So it's a prelude, That's what we're hearing. And
but
I think it's not far from the truth. The issue must turn out to be true always in Liberia.
Well, the issue about that, I know the issue about the former foreign minister, the money that they're accusing this guy for, I don't know, but I know most from what I gathered, and I went to the ministry too. I saw it was spent on the ministry, the money from the Saudi and for the Moroccans, and.
Well, I mean, let's see the charges. I mean, if they're gonna indict him, they're gonna come up with charges. Let's see it.
Right. Because there's another issue that I read about rice. That I think the Saudi have given about 500,000 bags of rice, but then also the same rice. I heard. I read somebody like
Peabody, that rice is a Japanese grant program. That rice is a Japanese grant program with the foreign ministry.
Right. Yeah, but
it's something the government sells the rice and take the profit from the rice and carry on the project.
But I heard that the Saudi had given that rice, and part of that rice I read was even used for the inauguration where they gave us Baka to have ordered that most of the rice be given to people so that they can put enough for the cleanup SSI, and they use a whole lot of that. So I want to see what I want to see. Yeah, that's what I read. So I want to see what the indictment will be. But I don't look, Mr. Dix. I don't know. But justice is far from Liberia. I mean, the system is it's more like a regime justice in that country. Fonati, we saw for the Supreme Court ruling recently what happened. We saw They took people to court on a Friday afternoon, almost time for the court. Kept them for the longest, and then the court closed and took them to jail. But there are a lot of things happening in this government. What the justice system seems to be dead. You
Yeah,
know,
but
because,
the strange thing is the police chief of all
yeah,
person.
yeah,
So I mean, the police has a leeway. They have little room to operate if they want to incarcerate you
yeah,
by holding you there. If they want you to sleep there, then they will make sure they are not they order your arrest at the
yeah,
time that you
right,
can post bail, and
yeah,
then they can keep you for 48, 72 hours. Then
right,
you come from a magistrate and post bail. But the strange thing is that when you have a crime and the police does the police does the investigation, they do the investigation under the guidance of the county or the minister of justice prosecutor, somebody because the man who prosecuting the case want to see what you putting together.
yeah,
So after you put it together, you take the people to court, they arrange in front of they go there to do the hearing. Then the police chief is giving a press conference. I like, dude, shut the hell up.
yeah. How you the
You
word?
you are done. They don't need you because there's a possibility that you might take the witness stand. And why are you having
Yeah,
a press conference?
yeah, and charging people.
Yeah, so I mean, you having a press conference explaining you once that thing go into the hearing of the prosecutor, you got nothing to say.
Yeah, but
So,
but
so what is your about the bill? Are you hearing that the government is challenging the bond?
Well, the government
yeah,
challenged the bond at a criminal court, then the criminal court judge sent it down to the magistrate because he's the one that accepted the bond. So they're gonna, I think they got to, I think that they were in court yesterday. So they're gonna go to court tomorrow, and the magistrate will hand down the ruling on the bond.
So tomorrow,
So there's a possibility he might, if he rejects the bond, he'll go to jail.
so
yeah.
He'll go back to jail.
if he says he reject the bond, he says it's not correct. I mean, they put go for the NJ again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll take him out of jail. Then they got to put another
It's
jail.
like Tony. It's like what the government wants in the court. Is that what happened? It's not. It's not based on the proponents of evidence. It's not based on that. It's not based on. It's not proven beyond reasonable doubt. It's what the government wants. These people shouldn't be up. We should have kept. We should have kept them in jail for at
And
least the last
it's
2-3 weeks. Then it will stay in jail. You know, just before you come in, Mr. Yeah, the government said they brought forensic
Investigators.
investigators. These are people who were personal friends of President Boakai. They were personal friends. They went to the president inauguration. They met,
Chief Element.
yeah, they went to Boakai inauguration. They were at Boakai home. They visited him. They have known President Boakai for when he was vice president. And then you take these people to be independent on the thing. They will be independent on the decision the render or serve.
No, but the opponents said they were asked. They said that according to the report, arson was committed. There was an arsonist.
yeah. So I mean, they said the building
but the government,
got burned by arson.
yeah.
They use some accelerant or what the term they use. So we know that. So now then the police got to find out
Who did it?
who did the act.
Mhm.
So
All right, I said that.
now
Brian,
the police going through this thing. But my thing is, I mean, from looking at, I ain't no lawyer, so I'm gonna go into legal ground. But when you look at prosecutor operating in the United States here, in advanced country, they're not about putting you in jail.
No.
From the side of the case, you going to jail. That man wants to get a conviction.
Yeah.
He wants to get a conviction. He's working hard to get a conviction. You want to tell me full lawmakers are fly raised that you gonna challenge bond
Yeah.
for full lawmakers? You know what I mean? So what? So you think you won if the person slept in jail one night?
Yeah. Then you are
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have a trial, and you got to put these people, you got to plan these people to that scene that they were part of the fire. I mean, they were part of that process, and then you got somebody that they burned to the country, were laying in some hotel for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then after a week and a half, when video started leaking, the next thing you see, then you carrying the court, even the judge.
Yeah.
So I mean, what kind of messy thing is this? Then you have a press conference.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a press conference.
We tell for Joe, but the guys, I think the guys they plan to do, they will keep though. The guys will put people in jail for the longest. They'll be in court. Battle will be going for the next 3 years. And if you're in court, maybe you for you to even think about running for office or supporting your party, you'll say, you know something, to get it off me, let me just compromise. Let me just go and find a agreement with these people and say, look.
Well,
But too many, yes, I don't have a problem with them persecuting people.
Yes.
But they are not transparent when it comes to that. They're not operating on the law. They're operating on what executive thing should happen to certain people, you know, operating on their emotions as well. And that's what they're doing. Because if they're operating by law, you won't keep somebody in the courtroom for the next 6-7 hours for the courthouse to close, and then you send them to jail, and you're parading around the street like Mr. Dick said. The prosecutor who should be calling up crime and things like that, you got Gregory standing there, Grant standing about the law and when people commit crime and this happen, but you have your own security at that Capitol building. They were heavily protected by a security. Have you arrested any of the security that you had assigned there? So you want to tell me the entire Capitol building did not have one security assigned there? You did not have a camera that a CCTV camera or whatever, how they called it, there to really see things happening. Now your friends that came to do the investigation said that it was arson because they were friends. These guys are personal friends. If you want to be independent, you bring somebody that you don't know who will walk through that building and do it. But these are personal friends. These people were whining and dining at the president's home. I would not bring them. No matter what, I wouldn't. It would not be free from that.
But you know something, Tomalin? Yeah. These people, $60 million a year, $40 million, $70 million. This is that legislative branch. You want to tell me they do not have security mechanism to tell who's going in and out of that place?
Thank you.
You want to tell me who going in and out of that place?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it's they should be embarrassed, but that's the country they have no shame. I mean, these people have no morals. They have no, I don't know why we even call them honorable. I mean, you want to tell me that? So who provides security for that Capitol ground?
Nobody. The police.
I mean, but who provides security for that Capitol ground? They would see who going in and out. Even if he enter in the building, you should be captured on camera.
Yeah.
Guess what? You see the country we live in. There are 50 states. Get commit crime. Everything that close on you it just close on you.
In seconds.
Sorry, guy, Minnesota where they captured.
Minnesota.
That guy, I knew he wasn't going to escape that state because the people had a helicopter in the air. I mean,
but it wasn't a helicopter that captured him. We thought he shaved his hair, but he used a silicone mask.
Okay.
He didn't shave his hair. After he committed the crime, he took out the silicone mask. He put he put that jacket and hat on. When they arrested him with a jacket on.
Yeah.
He put that jacket. He went in a grocery store. They caught him on camera. So can you imagine if we never had a camera? We're going to find the man.
Yeah.
We'll find what he looked like.
But my question is, I mean, the man, he covered himself. But how did they discover out the guy?
No, so
when the car he was in.
Yeah, the car that the SUV that looked like a police car. Then he
went and commit crime and run away in this country.
Yeah, I mean, because we have this infrastructure now for private homes. Everybody got this Ring camera. Can you imagine if you have Ring camera all on your street? Each person has a Ring camera. There's no escape.
But the one girl, the final girl, Congressman and where is he? Gary Sonny and she was intern. And Central Levy. There was a Congress.
What happened to her?
The guy got missing. They see the guy yet.
I think he went to jail.
No, Gary, they have a person intern, but he was never charged.
Yeah, but she's missing. She's missing. So
Central Levy, I think.
I can tell you that case, if it takes 100 years, they will still find her one day. But the thing is, Our police don't even have the logistics. So what kind of crime they investigating to even indict people
Yeah.
on?
So
Okay.
so so right now, if you go to the Capitol building, you ask them. You say, "Tell me who all came here yesterday." You don't have a visitor log. You don't have a camera in the building.
Mm-hmm.
The first branch of government people just walk in and out of it. And then, so when the fire kind of next day, you talking, everybody talking spider story. Oh, I think that was that guy because what he said last week. I
Yeah.
think it was the guy what the person said the other day. I think what the guy person said the other day. Really? I mean, the place is right across from the mansion. You're right across from the Zeta mansion, and you don't know who going in there.
Wow.
If
Eh?
they had a case, if they really follow the law, and unfortunately, some of all those indicted, they may not have justice. They could be indicted based on the emotions, based on what the executive wants, that these people should be in jail and disgrace them. That's all. But I don't think they will have a
Well, the way the defense team got
Central
I
living.
mean, yeah, the defense team has a former associate justice and former ECOWAS justice to Councilor Wilkins, right?
Mhm.
Oh, working well on covenant defense.
Yeah, Uncle Vine Defense is a very, very good trial lawyer. He's the one that got those guys with the drug thing off too. And people thought it wasn't bribery. Tomalin, if a ship if I import something and it comes to me, and then you come, you say you won't buy it from me because it got drugs in it, and I tell the police somebody wants to buy this package from me, and police know it got drugs. You know what the police will tell me in America? Go and sell it to Tomalin. Then the moment because you just flew in to come buy that thing, right? 'Cause you know what's in it.
Yeah.
The moment I sell it to you, the police will nail you. That means you are in possession of that thing, right? The people that hire in court, the people are never in possession of the drug.
Mm.
The the guy where he container came and told the police said these people won't buy my drugs. Then they went and arrested the people because somebody said they didn't want to buy the thing and got drugs in there. So the people are never in possession. People are never in possession of the drug. If he has sold it to them and they have it and ready to package and whatever then you run on them and got them. Then you got them with the actual fruit of the crime in possession. But
Right.
they were not. So what make you think that the guy who imported that container was not part of the deal?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
So,
the people walk free. I mean, they walk free because
well,
you want put me in jail for 20 years for drug possession, but it wasn't in my possession. That guy just told you say I want to buy it for him. What made you think that guy ain't lying?
Oh, guys, we got 21 minutes. 21 minutes.
yeah, I should be all right now. Tell me what's the
20 minutes. Let me just ask a question quick. Guys, what things are going in the country, right? People right now, people are saying, okay, time so far, but what things are going in the country? If it continues in this trend continues, do you guys see a credible and fair election 2029? The way things are going. The president about to appoint a new entire NEC and National Election Commission next year, and they have a Supreme Court justice. You having our lawmakers who's also to make the laws. They are basically telling the president, said, do whatever you want to do, we'll support you. And everybody seems to just they are giving up because they are all numbers game. You don't have the numbers in the Senate or the House, you can't fight. You can't fight. So everything will just gonna people fear that thing will just people just give us, something. Let the pool come finish the second time and then move on there. You give people through the tower so easy or they will fight.
Tony, from what I will come in first because something. From what I think the Liberian people have settled for that they can no more do anything when it comes to corruption. They can no more do anything when it comes to the rule of law in our country. They are seeing it as a way of life. That when somebody come in, he's become the shit. Let me say this. It's late, he's become the shit or stuff like that. Our people have given up. And what we're seeing here is this government will try to suppress the opposition in a way, especially the bigger opposition party, which is the CDC. they will suppress that in a way that they would be they will be to the lowest. I mean that their ability to really function will be high. But again, I don't blame the government. Liberia have great leaders, people that could lead the country, people that could bring change to our country, people that could make Liberia great again. Alexander Cummings, fine gentleman. It's only in Liberia that we see people who have climbed the ladder that we bring them down to the lowest, and that's what they try to do to Mr. Cummings. You saw how they tried to embarrass Mr. Cummings, diminish him. They went about lying on him. The very party, the coalition that he was part of, they said we're going to get rid of him. And what we're going to do, they took him to court, they made up stories, they made up lies. If Mr. Cummings was not a strong man, they would have disgraced him like a disgrace when the T-Kofa. That's what they wanted to do. We saw the former president going to court, testify on things that he knew nothing about. And they were able to remove him, and they stayed. So why do you think they can't do it to CDC? This is what CDC get for not really holding the previous government to tax.
Yep.
This is what they get. They overlooked it. They overlooked it and said, you know what? And just let it flow. Business as usual.
But let's say, assume that if you ask to advise, let's say, okay, Cummings call you and say, look, Peabody, I want your honest advice. I want your honest, your honest guidance. Tell me, what's the way forward? What do I need to do to get across?
Our people are very stubborn. They can see red and call it white. Mr. Cummings was the only candidate that campaigned in almost every part of Liberia. Villages, towns, places with a message. What did they say? Oh, his message is weak. Oh, it's not resonating. Oh, he cried. Oh, he did. But this man went everywhere. One thing I know about Liberian people, they will see good and they want bad. So if they want bad, they will defend that bad to the least, and that's what we're saying. So, I mean, if anybody advise me, I don't know what Mr. Cummings' plan is. If he really wants to get into the next race, I mean, he could probably pull it out now, because from what we're saying, he would be the only one that can rescue that country. But again, when you have opposition that are totally dishonest, how do you trust them? Most of the coalition, they are dishonest. They come in, and the moment they find gravy on the other side, they will not stand for anything. That's why we have a lot of people today in our legislature that stand for nothing. Dylan came out that he was the sacrificial lamb. Look at him today. Look at Dylan today. He's stuck in there, say he running foreign service committee. You even got a degree in any international religion, any kind of experience to really deal with foreign service. That's what Liberia, I mean, I'm not trying to but he's not the one. That's why you see the government is the weakest link on the continent right now. Because you know what?
He's on the continent. He's on the continent.
Yeah, you see, and that's how we are. You see, we got people there heading key committee that don't know a blank about it. I don't want to say S, but you saw what Donald Trump said today about Israel and Iraq. He said they've been fighting. They didn't give an F about what people.
He said, no, but he doesn't. I get the left Trump away from you. He give about that. Trump said, also, Trump, when he tell the person, look, I don't care what you can say. As far as concerned, we with that the Iranian, the nuclear arsenal, we destroy it. The person said, no. He said, the answer where he said, she knows what she's talking about. I know you're so fired, I won't. So fired, Garguah. He want to know.
I'll be at Donald Trump. He said that the two of them been fighting, and they know they have where to fight for. They've been fighting for years.
No, but Peabody says something. I think I don't know, but if the Liberian people cannot see for themselves, right? If we cannot see between the lines and think that thing will still be the same, and then I think we just not gonna get it, because if you can't see right now that the reality is that there's nothing. I mean, like, look at the kind of money the guys are playing with right now. Okay, the guys playing with money. If you serious for you, cut the budget. Say, look, we're gonna cut spending. We'll put money into education, put money into health. We'll put money into giving micro loans to people that need a loan. Okay, stop giving the money to the people, but instead, the people defend whatever they're doing. As a result, the people will just continue to live in sustain and abject poverty. And
Hey, you know, Tomalin, one of the few things that have been like detrimental to the development of Liberia, you know that why? Our ECOWAS brother Ghana.
Yeah.
why?
For we Liberians, we are so fixated with our country.
Yeah.
Great things that, oh man, the Ghanaians are moving too fast.
Yeah.
But let's not forget what you see in Ghana. It started about 35 years ago. That people you live in Ghana. It's about 35 years ago.
Exactly.
People started building anything. So our people go there, they want instant gratification. What they do? They to go buy a house in Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah, most of our poor homes in Ghana, yeah, true.
The black-headed one is fine.
Doing the Taylor years, it was Abidjan.
Mm-hmm.
But since Taylor left power, everything now turned to Ghana. It's
Ghana, yeah.
And honestly, I've never been to Ghana. One time I've never been to Ghana. People look at me like I'm lost in life.
Yeah.
The most I've been in Ghana to the airport. You
But
never been in Ghana? I like, why?
Like new Liberia.
Ghana. I said, you know what? I don't have anything against Ghana. I would love to go to Ghana one of these days. I'm proud of them that they work hard to get the country to where it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So what about us? What we capable of doing?
Nothing.
We capable of going there to go buy a house there?
Yeah, a lot of Liberian homes in Ghana.
And I mean, even our government officials, they would take ASCA Kenya Airway to go to Ghana, then fly to Europe, then they'll take Brussels from Liberia to go to Europe because they have to pass through Ghana. I mean, the fixation with this country are like, okay, so why don't you see it? Nothing wrong going there and then get Mother Villa to come and do it on your side.
But Sepa, let me. You just struck a point. Do you know that we are 30 minutes flight to Freetown?
Yeah.
Oh, Liberia, Freetown, Liberia, at the 45-minute flight.
35 minutes. You know that we don't have a direct flight going to Freetown. There's a young kid that should be going to Freetown to do a surgery for Mercer Shiva. We're trying to get this kid there. You know what it's costing us to get 3 persons from Liberia by plane to Sierra Leone? 3,000.
Yeah.
500 something. They have to fly to Ivory Coast, fly somewhere else for to get into Sierra Leone. There's no flight going to Freetown. Just 35 minutes, 40 flight. But we see pleasure in flying to Ghana. Ghana have become Liberia, new America, a new tourist.
Go to Freetown, you got to go to Lagos.
Yeah.
Go to Africa. Even to get to Lagos are almost all day.
Yeah.
When we're traveling to Liberia, we stop in Freetown. We pick up passengers from the Canada and Monrovia. Then the passenger we pick up from Freetown, we're on the way to Europe now. So the only join our plane because we were stopping from Monrovia to go straight there. I just imagine a week, no plane for Liberia to Ghana.
Freetown. Tomalin, traveling in West Africa is not as efficient.
No.
As in East Africa and Southern part of Africa is not efficient. If you in Rwanda, in Kigali, in Nairobi, you can fly to just about any of the capital city with a direct flight from one of those cities.
Right.
From Liberia to Nigeria, if you take ASCA, you will sit down, you will go Accra, Lomé, and change plane and sit down Lomé for hours. We get another flight to go to Lagos or Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. If you want to go to Freetown, you got to go east, then come back west.
Yeah, then go on a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So look, the thing is, Liberia had just become a failed place. They bury ECOWAS, they boast up every day. They're spending millions of dollars on themselves. They can't even come together and say, let's create a regional jet plane that would air service that would can go right in our country and things like that. They don't even have it. They sit down and boast all day.
It's an ego thing. Okay, now you got ISCA. I mean, ISCA doing what it can do. You know what I mean? They heavily bid. Their hub is Lomé.
Yeah.
And they have this strategic and partnership and ownership with Ethiopian Airlines. But there's so much they can do. You know, if you take a ISCA, if you living in Lomé, you can get to Liberia and other because I think the crew leaves Liberia early. So the crew sleeps in Liberia and leave early in the morning.
Yeah, leave at 7 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's guys from which country?
From Togo, I think.
They're in Togo, but the ownership structure, Ethiopian Airline own like I think 40+% of ISCA, Ethiopian Airline.
Yeah.
And then I think Echo Bank and then ECOWAS Investment Bank. It's not the government owned. It's not the government.
Yeah.
Not the government owned.
But Togo I think Togo have become the hub or something like that.
Yes, yeah. So Togo is their hub. So, but it's just that like country like you say, Freetown, Guinea, where Liberia now to go to Guinea, you can take that Ethiopian airline flight that come from Addis, that lands in Liberia, then go to Conakry, then it sleeps in Conakry, and then it comes back the next morning from Conakry, Monrovia, then go to Addis. So that's the only way you can get to Guinea quick if you catch that Ethiopian airline flight. Banjul, Dakar, those places, I mean, you gotta like bounce around before you even get there. So I mean, competing west, and then you see ECOWAS, I mean, it's just an ego thing because if that airline was in Nigeria or Ghana, they would have boosted, but it's in Togo, so the big ECOWAS don't want to boost it.
Yeah,
they want to boost it.
They don't want to do it. You know, it flies around spending millions, and then I want to see Liberia. I know one person who boasted, but ECOWAS. I mean,
they sent it off on bombing.
I'm not going to call ECOWAS. I'm not even going to call it.
They don't do that. The only thing you get for ECOWAS are free travel. That visa free travel.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And they bring some of the brains behind ECOWAS was the late Liberian Romeo Halting. Brains behind ECOWAS and African Development Bank. That whole thing is on trade.
Right? For real?
Yeah. Romeo Halting was one of the brains behind. If you go to, I will send you a link for the Indiana papers. You will see Romeo Halting papers there.
Romeo Francis Chuchu Halting is different.
Romeo Halting is the older one. Romeo Halting is the original financier. The original financial guru.
Both are deceased or alive?
One of them still. I think Romeo is still alive.
No, I think Chuchu is younger one.
Chuchu is still.
What happened to the guy? He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still.
Yeah.
Bishop still alive?
He's still. I think somebody in New York. You're a good friend with Dripper. They used to talk all the time.
Yeah, because he's so. And then when Jamal gave news, I think when he endorsed the guy. He endorsed the guy for president. I said, wow.
You know,
Romeo Halting. So Romeo Halting went to Morehouse.
Yeah.
And then he went to Wharton School of Business, University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You know, when I school through that Toronto attended.
Yeah, the business school. Then when he went to Liberia, he opened the first indigenous bank in Liberia, the Bank of Liberia.
Wow.
You see where the guy agricultural bank, where agricultural bank used to be? That used to be Bank of Liberia.
I mean, the boy had vision, yeah.
He had Bank of Liberia. Then he was advisor to Torgbean and the Torgbean. Then they had the African Development Bank concept. He was one of the brains behind it, and also ECOWAS.
Wow. I mean, those boys have vision.
I mean, the poor are business minded.
Yeah, but
they had a fishing company, Maserado Fishing Company. They had the sugar company, Lepsuko or what?
Lesuko in Maryland.
Paco Pin.
You got those boys have vision. Did they lie and talk to Elon Musk? Did they lie and talk to Elon Musk?
You know, Tomalin, when you are Peabody, Tomalin, when you're a businessman, if I can sell 5 oranges a day, my goal is to sell 10, right?
Yeah.
So the only way I can sell 10, what we learn from here, to empower more people to be able to make income, I will get more people to buy. But we have a society today
Yeah.
People want to have everything, then they drop the crumbs down, then you be grateful for the crumbs that they drop
Yeah.
down to you.
Happy. You sing praise. You
That's
praise
what
to
we
them.
have today. So
Yeah.
it's a no growth mentality.
Yeah.
Look here, you got
Exactly.
they had a thing, they got a little thing that some money came from agriculture the other time, and we're going to American person got put defending it. I like, you know what? It will always go to them because you know what I mean? These people are policy makers, they never set any policy to empower local farmers. So when will the
No.
local farmer get there? So
Yeah.
anything that comes will go to them. Because
Look,
what happened to the cooperative?
look, you know
What happened to
what?
the cooperative? This man
Yeah.
got the biggest fine. He had a bigger fine when he was minister. When he was a minister, he had a fine.
But how other than get big fine?
Yeah, I had to get a
They
big fine.
cannot
So,
tell you any independent way that they did things in the past to get every one of them that got some of the biggest farms, the biggest businesses in Liberia, got from the very government. None of them got it independently after
I'm
the
not
work.
saying I'm not saying you got the money legally, but the position that you are in to get that money, that's the problem. Because you have access to state resources, you're a policy maker to empower people, but you empower yourself and you
Yeah.
put yourself in a position to get all the aid.
But
The
what
other
they
person that got the other person that got money for that was Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone got good money to do for a rest meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the people got money for that thing. So
you look
I
at,
mean, but you know, I don't blame them. You know, I blame the Minister of Agriculture. You will sit there and approve things like that.
Oh, but right now, Mr. Agriculture, I think he scored highest in Boga class recently. He highest.
But no, but that thing happened in the previous government. But the current Minister of Agriculture benefited from it too.
Oh, Nuta?
Yeah, he benefited from it too. No, that happened in the previous government.
One of the top performing minister in Boga government right now.
I mean, let's see.
18
We
machines.
can grow our own rice. We can buy our own rice. Then you say, yeah, he's top performing. We still importing millions of dollars in rice, millions of rice
So
everywhere. So what successful it has become?
No,
so
but
I mean, what kind of yardstick they were grading now?
I think by the time he first time will be eating what will grow. Will be
That,
grow.
that yeah, that it will grow in a year. When they say we are reduced the importation of rice because with the local rice can produce, then we know something going on. But now start performing. What's in there to perform? We still ordering pepper and things from Guinea.
Yeah, but so wait, I know I don't know about it. The second year finish.
Yeah, finish.
And if you don't know, if you don't notice, they're no different from the first year to the second year.
Yeah, they seem
there's
they said next year we'll see the machines coming on the place. We'll see the panel, the light panel will be the country will be light up. We'll not have a power shortage next year. And it's all the new LED bulbs before the sun, right?
Yeah, but Tomalin, you give me light. I can't eat light. I can't eat light. I can't eat yellow machine. I can't eat raw.
But Siafa, how long we been talking about that one light? Every government account, we're bringing light. See what that is. They put panel all on the street. Go there right now. Most of the places then dark. Why you think people Broad Street that should be the downtown of the capital of Liberia? Why you think nobody hang on Broad Street no more? You drive up the other day. We drove up to Mama Point like around 11, 12 in the night. It was a ghost time. Ghost time. I mean, especially around the old Hotel Africa, other places, it was a ghost town. I mean, those places where function, those days, you go there from morning, from 7 o'clock in the morning, it was going good. Go there now. Everybody afraid to even go there because that's when all the gang, the criminal thing. You didn't even lighting the downtown Monrovia. Yeah, no, I mean, every government, the last 12 or 20 years, we've been talking about
light.
That's any news there to make. The government king, the broad light. For the first time, everything to do the same for the first time in the history. For the first time ever. Everything to do that for the first time ever. Then you make news on simple things like somebody building something. The last time, what it did? The first time, Liberia got permanency. You spend all that money just to get some historic stick to that place there. Spend thousands, brought in hundreds of government officials. You spend all the money because you want a seat, permanent security council. See other nonsense. Had that even changed?
Yeah, but guess what? sometimes support or do things that set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
You gotta, I mean, not to knock on our brothers and sisters, but you got an unsophisticated population.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people feel that starting next year, like, bro, be getting plenty of money because we own UN Security Council.
But you know, what's the
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, when somebody, when minister say, oh, you know, this helped you in negotiation, I like, really? So they will be expecting more from you. And then
Which,
so what are you going to tell them?
which
Oh,
was spending? When I
But you know, one thing, you know, I'll tell you this though. I think Amar that said it, right? He told Liberian people when they took power, he said, look, but you manage our expectation, because apparently, and from what I gather was that during the election, most of the U people that supported UP felt that okay, because you know when Ellen was president, the people they were getting US dollar salary and Liberian dollar salary, right? And they were making they had a lot of money coming in. But what the people failed to realize was that Ellen we had army on the ground. You got a lot of companies, new companies on the ground, and she was more like taking Liberia from a state of despair. She was so as a result, she became the darling of the West. They canceled our debt and pouring money into Liberia. So they say that when Ellen leaves power, the Liberia continue that way. When CBC got the power, the people say, well, you're going to be peaceful. Army leaving. And most of the money you're getting now, we can't give it because you have come to a normal to basically to normalcy. So you can't give the money, all the stuff then. So you have to struggle. So now people, so the guys from you so allow the way Ellen was treating you will treat you the same way. Your girl power, it will be the same thing now. And as a result, and that's why the Haman has been talk about, you can not say they will reverse it.
No, you can't reverse it.
So as a result, they stuck with it. And this is why people are mad. But then, so I'm not trying to say your money, your expectation, because the way you saw things we said will happen in election, that's why it will happen. Because things, but then so what they can say that they can say, oh, CDC left that brought it put the country in a big mess. About the fight to take it from there, and that's not true.
No, okay. Let me tell you something, governing. I can't come and say Tomalin and Peabody left the plane in a mess. And all I did when I came, I just changed my name. I just put my knee on the door and sit on the same desk. And look, governing, okay, when you run election, you start with your campaign slogan, arrest. You take that arrest, you put it into a policy document. When you win, you look at that policy document, you say, are there any laws that we need to change in order for me to accomplish my agenda? You know what I mean? Then you start passing legislation. But you get in power, you pass no major landmark legislation. Then you can tell me say the person wrong because you're trying to change. So the system is right. So you just president. The system is right.
Yeah.
So our tax law is fine. Our concession agreements are all fine. I mean, all these different things are all fine. And then there's something that Madam Sally did, yeah, there were problems, there were faults, but Tomalin, it's a competitive environment out there. The president got to go and open doors and initiate negotiation for things to come in your country. People are not going to be running. People are not going to be running to you. Hey, my man, you want something? My man, you want something? You got to go. But these guys that came from the Madam government, they only know one track: World Bank, IMF, African Development Bank, EU. Those people will not develop Liberia. There are private-public partnership out there that you got to tackle and be creative to bring major infrastructure development in your country.
That's why we need that. That's why we need Alexander coming for. And
you sit there, you spend 2 months to put a paper together for $60 million for 3 years, and you take picture and you have a program. That's success.
And you don't even get some of the money until you're living powerful to start coming in. And sit on there and people rejoice. Oh, for the first time in history, the EU had agreed. Every day people agree to get up. Every day agree to
and you see this World Bank, they will wonder, will be looking at World Bank wonder the key driver of Rwanda development. They got the Saudi fund, the Kuwaiti fund, the Afro-Exim Bank. These people kind of do infrastructure development in your country, and like BOT and all those different things. In Sierra Leone, the Turkish people build a brand new airport in Freetown. That's a BOT. It costs the government of Sierra Leone zero. They're operating there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but the development is there.
They have an airport, people
Yeah.
working in development that you get air traffic in your country.
Yeah.
But once you stuck on these agencies, development partner, you just stuck within that circle. It's a vicious cycle. It like
But that's
it like payday loan. You will
see,
never go ahead.
that's what our people like. By the time they
Yeah.
hear, because listen, I'm not trying to, but the generation we have in that place, that's why our education system all had just screwed up. So the people they only look at instant gratification. So somebody come out, oh, the government of Liberia or China has agreed to give $3 million. Oh, then what is right? Oh yes, Liberia is getting better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm like, I'm like,
do nothing, all that stuff.
and
Yeah.
then it just and this, I mean, this president, I won't say he surprised me because the tree he comes from, I didn't expect anything else.
Yeah.
Unless he was going to be a trans, I don't see no transformation in him. I don't see no transformation in him. It's the
But the
same. It's
man
the
has
same
not
old guy.
even
The same
come
old
as
guy.
I
So
don't know who his friends. I don't know who in you are his friends. Even in Great America. Who really
you got.
I'm hearing that he is a planned visit for him to the White House. I hear
But
that.
Tomalin,
so let me go to bed. I'm very late. It won't o'clock. Why are they planning it? Oh, we go out here.
Tomalin, the White House thing. Look, right now with Donald Trump, American aid has taken a different turn.
Of course.
There's no usage of skeleton. What's the other thing? MCC. The only thing, the only other money that comes from American government. No money from American government.
Say money. If I can just give me 10 minutes with Trump. Trust me.
Who that?
The president said if they give 10 minutes with Trump, said I want to change.
Hey, Trump don't play.
Oh,
Trump will tell you how it is.
And
Go to big guy.
then Trump is business diplomacy.
Yeah.
The what your country got?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Trump can have a free.
Yeah, you coming big? What your country got?
He said you don't come here and just big like that. Trump will take straight up.
He tells okay, you're gonna give me some. You're gonna give me maybe that whole would give you then with top business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with top business. That would give me.
Yeah, but Tomalin, what's in Wologisi? What's in Wologisi?
Wologisi?
It's a mountain. So what kind of mineral there?
A lot of minerals, but they test from there. Say I've got a lot of important minerals.
Well, I'm just asking because now
even our territorial waters, our water, it kind of how to call it a product we got there, kind of a fish. I mean, how to call it seafood got there.
I know we got a coral reef between River Cess going east.
Our Sapo National Park is untouched, so we got a lot of things to trade. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, just giving it up, you can just give it up. No, the people got to be creative, bro. The people got to be creative. This running to IMF, World Bank, and then they say, oh, I don't know, I'm not an economist. They say, oh, we've been approved for this extended credit facility. They call it big money, and sometimes they put a saying hot water. They say, oh, $250 million extended credit facility. So a typical Liberian will getting $250 million for the IMF.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So instead of them, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how it works, but just come explain to the population. Say, this is what this thing is going to be used for. You know what I mean? Is it used for balance of trade? Is it used to boost up the reserve or whatsoever? Just tell her. But you just come in, right? Oh, we approve for this. Then you start celebrating. Then when you finish, the people will say, you stole $250 million, then you get vexed.
Probably we don't let to educate our people on our people they don't demand explanation. For instance, you think right now, like you said, but now they see that people bill, they will be concerned, but how can it went or don't see secrecy? We want to know what happened. What's in that bill? What's in it for? See right now in America now, in as much as Trump is popular in the Republican Party, but the Republican people, they are afraid to touch that bill now. The guy to come nasty. The guy say he care. The guy say I don't care. I agree with that bill. I would never vote. That's what they.
But it comes down to journalism. They put in like the journalism library. They almost like cheerleader. Look at the other one. He on here busy talking about his current.
Who?
Or Lobo, how when he went to America, he put $40, he came out and made 48 megawatts a current. So when people say LEC not working, I think they just be trying to make something up.
Your operation LEC, yeah.
Yeah, but and that's on state radio. So you using state radio for propaganda? I wrote under the comments somebody I think about Michael Palmer that posted of Femi. I told somebody I say even the tyrants Samuel Doe didn't use ERBC for propaganda. Let's be honest. ERBC was a real broadcasting entity. They had people who were practicing journalism there. They used to get in trouble with the government.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They were the one that go into the ministry and asking the tough question. Every day you come, you watch ERTV Action News. We have Torgbean, about Torgbean, but Charles Brown got killed because he was being a journalist and be, you know what I mean? But you take state radio where you so educate the population, then you put people that do propaganda and gaslight the people, and you say you president, you 42 years. President Towa saying use that play for propaganda. You get ministry information.
As we come to an end, let me just say, I want to see who would take LBS to court, because LBS is owned by the public. Everybody should have access over there. I want to see if a political party say for the opposition say they want to use LBS, they won't pay for the slot to use it. I'll see what to tell them, because what I've come to understand is that they don't treat it like a private, like a public entity. They treat it as say for it's owned by the ruling party. And now most of the people go online. Most of the things, the news, the radio station that you see, the local station that you see that are active now, they are people that are owned by the people in the ruling party. And a few years ago, they never had all the attention, but now they get it because of the proximity of where they are.
Yeah, but bro, you know the mistake they're making when you're in power, the bar is set high for you, and when you're out of power. Look, Madam Seti for 12 years. Madam Seti first year. No, don't get me wrong. CDC was a threat to Madam Seti coming up to 2011 election. So that's why she never let her guard down. You know what I mean? She managed that country. She kept it. She had a firm grip on it. EFBC was never used for that kind of thing. Her press secretary was Cyrus Badio. Who was information minister in your first term? I'm trying to figure out who was there. I mean, they had Bobler there. They had Larry Bobler there once upon a time when he left. I don't know who took it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And those and you know what they were doing? They were informing the population, drawing the contrast where we came, where we were, and where we are now. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing. So that's why when it got 2011, she didn't even have to explain too much. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. She had to explain too much. But these people, the woman selling the market, people can't buy her thing. Then you go on the radio, you tell them and say things are all right. We signed a memorandum of understanding. The woman what they call memorandum of understanding?
No, I tell you the truth, right?
And then the other part you talk about the election. You will only be cheated. They will only cheat you if you're allowed to be cheated. You can put all your party faithful on the election commission. There's rules, there's access that the political party got access to the data. There's rules the political. So the thing is, I register to vote. Voting time, you give me the voter roll. When people go vote, they show their ID, they vote. When they counting the vote, when you give me that tally sheet, that Sam by sign the precinct, what I got, that the same sheet that magistrate is going to record, he's going to tabulate in. The notion that don't call the result until next call it. Let me tell you something. You do that, then you're not serious. The same shit next guy, you got it. So why should wait for next to call it?
I think Liberia party because all elections have kind of recently, election was called before NEC called the final.
Yeah, but guess what? The journalists will refuse to read the sheet on the radio because NEC ain't announced yet. Yeah. The journalists in the last election, I wonder why you follow them. Oh, this number we have, we cannot read it because NEC hasn't announced yet. I like, really? But these are the same journalists when they're watching American election, they'll be posting all day. Oh, we can predict the man will win. Who told you that election commission not call it?
But they different, man.
Yeah, no, but competition is good. Generally, look, for somebody to challenge me, I like it. That means I got to prove to you that what I'm doing is right. But when I challenge you and you start calling me names, that means you're not even capable of what you doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, one like any kind of debate or any discourse, but many somebody start to take it personal, go insult that the person.
Is that so?
Yeah,
You
I mean,
can't
yeah,
say
you can't forget what them guys not ready because like if we debate on a changing of ideas and so forth, and you start to take it personal and insult me, and I know that.
no, not even so. Oh, you were in power, you didn't do it. Shut up. Oh, I just asked a question, and guess what? These people are still referring to we are terming office, 18 months in government. You're still referring to the man that you replaced. That just tell you say you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because by now you should have a grip. I mean, Liberia, we are begging. We're not a developed country. America, we get crisis today. We can print $1 trillion tomorrow. Everybody bank account a little different by Monday morning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So things can change here within a month time. In Liberia, things can start changing within a year.
I hope on China will depend on everything on China depending on China. So we'll see what happens. Well, brother Ben, thanks for being a good time with you. Enjoy the night.
I mean, the bear. We'll do it one more. We'll do it another time. What happened to Ben tonight?
Ben is. I think Ben. I would say Ben. I know you watching right now, Bando. Ben mind is different. It's far away right now. He ain't thinking about when Ben look at all the things happening like bro. He said it's a joke. He said I was telling you. You think we're facing thing here? Forget it.
Well, you know what?
When I tell you, Ben, we'll be the moral conscience. He said, okay, be moral conscious. Yeah,
but you know what? If we say we give up, then I mean we just forget about politics and just go do something different. But once you involve in it, hey, at least at the end of the day, I can say I said this.
Yes.
I can be on record say I said this. You know, I hate to say I told you so because the country will suffer. You know what I mean? But at least I said this. And if you think I'm saying what I'm saying doesn't make sense, so be it. But at the end of the day,
I'm confident about the future. I believe that. What come what may, the 2028 Liberia will be heading a different pathway, and I can tell you that Liberia will have something to be happy about. They will be celebrate. And you know one thing you can know, you can know when somebody's election where it will turn. You know it. You saw Obama election, you knew Obama was going to win it. You saw they're going to with Trump. People say no, Trump is going to win because the people are showing the sign. Always were okay, but we saw the sign. You know, even with the election with Joe Boga and we are. When I want to register to vote, I could feel that it was different because anyway I sit down to have the socialize in our group. The people there will be if there were 10 person there, you have 7 for Boga, 3 for we are.
Yeah.
I started to catch it. Even I said one thing I got in the back of the pickup, one pickup. I said I'll ride the pickup bag. You're the person here. And asked the people, I say, who you for? He said, email, we try to woman now. I said, hey? All the people are here. I said, yeah, it's changing. So I will feel it. I will feel that it would have been a tough election. I would feel it, you know. But
yeah.
And
you know, it's optics.
Yeah.
Madam Sadi first term, she had a lot of accomplished people that were already accomplished as minister. So they were not into vanity. You know what I mean? Then her second term, our compatriots came into power and you know the show off came, and then a fellow president we turn. And these people, look, when the people are suffering and you're flaunting wealth in front of them, they will pay you at the ballot box.
Yeah.
Nobody might kid themselves. We see it. We see it.
All I'll keep on saying, all the people need you need about 10 opposition. No, you get 3 or 4 opposition parties that say, look, and they put the country first. Say, look, I know right now, I don't think if I am the face of this movement, we're gonna get there. But look, our goal is to make sure that we have a movement or team or ticket that can just cut the people first round and beat them up. That's what they need right now. But again, right now, as I tell people too, I agree with some people that say, look, Tomalin, right now, 2025, 26, 27, time to build your party, build your get your base together. So when you go to a table to bargain or you have a leverage, you come there with something. So right now it's time to just build up and prepare for that moment. So right now, most people think they won't take nothing serious right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
so people do that thing. They think it's serious now. Some people get feelings already. Some people already feel they don't win election already. Some people already feel that election will help today. If you don't win it, no. Some people anxious. They're so anxious about it. Oh yeah, this time you gotta do it with precision, with guided precision. Because look, it will take time to get to that point. If you think running fast right now, you will slow down.
you slow down, slow down.
Wait till the time comes, you know. So right now, for me, I tell people, I say right now, I'm undecided. I'm not for nobody right now. I'm looking ahead. When the time comes, people will see what we're heading at.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, I'm not undecided. I'm a member of the ANC, so we have a political leader. If he decides to run, I will be supporting him,
And I tell you,
and I hope he runs.
the ANC,
But
they have the best chance. They don't look at the best chance to because nowadays you go in a social gathering, anywhere you go, whether that wedding you go, cook out, when you go there to a party, when the people talking when they not criticize CDC, criticize UP, so you know what happening, my man. I think I come in town now. I don't hearing now. So but before they will say they ain't get chair, man. They ain't get chair. I ain't town yet. But now when you get to say, I think I come in town. I come in town now.
yeah, and then for us, I mean, we have a lot of work to do. We have to build our party infrastructure. I mean, we went through an election that the result was not something we expected, but so you got to re-energize people. But I mean, like between 9 and 20 and the end of 2027, everybody should just build an infrastructure, and hopefully the political actors will see the need to move this country in the right direction.
Yes.
Then to move themselves individually, because every time they tend to break apart because just tiny little thing, because individual ego. Because at the end of the day, the country suffers. And Tomalin, little over 5 billion people, and Liberia is not a complicated society.
Yesterday,
It's not a complicated society.
yesterday I was talking to somebody on the phone there. So my daughter and myself in the car. So they said, I said, my daughter, she said, I'm to go for application somewhere. When the lady said, Daddy, I want an interview. So I said, oh, when Kim said, what you doing? I said, oh, I got hired on the spot. I said, look at that. Then the person said, for you, in the person I said, and mind you, I said, how much is starting with? She said, it's starting me with $13. I said, she telling me, say, every hour she worked, $13 to pay her. She worked for the amount of hour. The person in la bro can't get it together. That is what he said. Judge Wina, so making almost full far out or Jeff out. I said, but the AL, and I said, am I you? The money she's making, she come and say, oh, daddy, no. He said, oh, I said, no. I still gotta pay the bills. She got nothing to do with my bills. Nothing got to do it. I gotta pay the bills still. Her money she's making to do what she want to do when she go to one pool or thing or face go to the mall and thing.
Yeah.
I said, man, she yell telling me her phone. She showed her hey, yes, sir. Her 16 Pro Max. The phone she coming again now. I said, why she telling me? I said, and I phone, then I'm money pay for it now.
Smart girl.
Yeah. I said, I phone again. I she coming again now. So and mind you, she tell me say, oh, daddy, no. Now her business. What are that phone is? All she knows is iPhone she wants now.
iPhone she wants.
And I'm about to go to college. I need a phone. I want to take to college. And you promised me you gotta give me that phone. I said, that deal, gotta do it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
she making free money. She want me free money, make her money. And now I say, oh, my daughter making money. And daddy, her money in her account, everything. I said, we want to retire now. Why you retire now when she now go through her recs and file, she do a lawyer now. So when she daddy, when you go, I'm taking you for Father's Day. I want to go to vacation and hand. Me at time I was like going. Daddy, right now. How life is.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, man. It's just the future is still bright. We gotta be hopeful. I mean, we can't be hopeless, we gotta be hopeful.
Let's give up. Let's keep on fighting, let's keep on working. We'll make it.
Yeah, we gotta keep hopeful. I mean, look, the Liberian people, they are resilient people. We survived the war. We survived wars. You know what I mean? We survived wars. And when I went to Liberia for the first time after 16 years in 2007, you could see the extra step in everybody, post-war. It gave you that, everybody was, anxious to build a country. Then along that way, something went wrong. And we just went back to the old ways. I mean, I'm telling you, Tomalin, I spent a money in Liberia 2007, December 2007. My sister was getting married too. So it was my first time back in Liberia after 16 years.
Wow.
And I went there, arrived fee. I was with my uncle too. That was the first time he left 1990. I left 92. So I mean, he was, you could see, just driving from the airport, and then woke up that next morning. You wake up in the morning, you hear the doodle bird, you hear the chicken crowing. You're like, okay, I haven't felt like this for 16 years. Then you get on the street the next day. I remember at that time they were doing the boulevard from like 9th Street to up to JFK. They were resurfacing the boulevard, so everybody was driving around Payne Avenue way, or you take the Jonathan way in Cinco. But I mean, everybody had an extra step in them. Everybody had an extra step in them. Even our young compatriots there, because they finally seeing that things can actually work. Other than these interim government faction group. Then somewhere along the way, it just fell off. Let's be honest, it just fell off. Because, after we started reconstituting this agency, creating new agency, just to come up to international standard. You had a cabinet, you brought people from outside. I mean, everybody was just, and you'll be surprised. There was nobody driving BB cars.
Oh.
That Nissan Patrol and Land Cruiser. None of them. You could see in Liberia. The only thing they had is Ford Everest SUV. I mean, you see Minister, the former Commerce Minister, she went to finance, Becky King. You know she was driving? She was driving a small Renault Jericho Ford Focus. She just had the old lesson plate on it. That a Crystal was driving a Pathfinder. I think they were driving Nissan Pathfinder that they brought from America. They just put old lesson plate on it. I mean, you could see and then some of them they inherited a car from the interim government. That's what they were driving. But somewhere.
But now this go like, bro, man, the people.
Yeah.
I mean, and one of the minister, he working with our government as a deputy minister. He and I were in college together 2 years. We did some courses together, and then he ministered now, probably in the government now. So he's in the government because the parties joined the coalition. Man, you see him. All the things that we should discuss now. When you talking to him now, he giving you different. I said, first of all, I saw you go on Facebook, you putting on your profile, on your story, putting the president picture there, like I mean, let us say that you do it, you won't maintain your job, and you defending all kind of stuff. I just say, something.
Yeah, I mean, just somewhere along the way, it just.
Yes. Mama, you smart. You smart. What? You do smart. Man, look,
I mean,
I allow you. And it's a historian. Out there, Siafa Deep, Dark Sharp. These guys are historians. They know history.
Just somewhere along the way, we just went off the rail, and we just can't get back in there.
Man, look, man. Look, one of these days, one day we'll have a show about Liberia history about you. There's nothing the guy know about history about. Can you bring the guy? So now you say this what you trying to talk about? Jenna, the guy knew who I'm talking about. He just hit me. I said, wow. Like I told you last time, I never knew that American ambassador Diane Labron actually told me.
Yeah, I
shocked.
never knew that. I never knew that.
Oh, that man Diane Labron, he went to that day, he died. I said, wow, I never knew all that.
And honestly, from the 80s, I only knew two U.S. ambassadors of Liberia. I knew Perkins and William Swing. I mean, that's the only two I knew, William Swing and Perkins.
One divorce something was ambassador.
I can't remember that one, but
Trump had a divorce something,
Yeah, I remember Perkins because I think I read Perkins' book, and he said in the book that I think he was in Ghana, and then he had just become charged of affair. He was on his way to Liberia when the coup came. Because Perkins are there.
Somebody tell me say at Jamal Valley side, I said, but I represent another Trump. He said no, they gave him work permit to work on Tomalin. I said they told the man to work on Trump ready for him. So right now they gave some work permit. They said right.
I like it, man.
She asked me if you want to know who you talking about.
Who's that? Who's that?
Go in the chat room. You're like, go to bed. She said, who is it? She want to know who you talking about. Go to bed.
No, wait. If she won't know that she gotta come online. They tell her to come online.
When I'm telling you won't come. I'm not telling you nothing.
You tell her to come online. She can't lie. She will know that.
Man, never enjoy the day, man.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Let's go that night. I got an early day. We'll do another time. We'll do another. I just tell representability to not give up, man.
No, I'll tell you not to give up, man. I'll tell you not to give up. We'll keep on fighting, keep on trying.
Yeah. I think that Indiana papers on Romeo Horton.
Okay,
but you just got to dig through it as well. Find a whole bunch of things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, bro.
Yeah. If you go to Indiana, they got the Tubman papers there too. Indiana, it's got Tubman papers, Baltimore papers.
I want to say, I want to say, from our history, our G all in that place, at University of Indiana.
I don't know. I know University of Indiana. They digitized the Tubman papers and.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about deed. I don't know about that one there. Yeah.
Okay.
I know they got some Liberian government archive paper there too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. You in bed? You ain't go to bed and sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
You have a good one, man. You take care. Good night, man. Yeah.